The scene opens at the Silver Dragon dungeon, where 2 guards stand guard, and a girl descends. The guards recognize and greet her as Her Majesty. The girl states that they can leave because she wants to speak with him alone. They comply, as the girl is none other than the Silver Dragon Queen, Ross Weiss. She enters the cage, seeing a person imprisoned inside, addressing him as the Great Dragon-Slaying Hero. She mockingly asks how it feels to become a prisoner of the Dragon Clan. Leon responds by asking her to kill him. Weiss offers to give him a quick death, but taunts him, stating it won't be that easy. She approaches him, remarking that he is a handsome and a resolute man, adding that more scars would make him perfect. She scratches his cheek. Leon turns his face away, shouting for her to stop humiliating him. He tells her to kill him or chop him up, but to do it quickly. Ross Weiss tastes his blood and comments that, as powerful as he is, if he hadn't been framed by a villain, he wouldn't have fallen into such a miserable state. She then asks him to consider joining the Silver Dragon Clan. Leon smirks mockingly and questions if she is even worthy. Ross Weiss kicks him, slamming him against the wall, causing him to cough up blood. She places her foot on his chest and questions how a prisoner dares to be rude to her. She calls him Leon Cosmos and asks if he still believes he is the great hero of mankind, praised by thousands. She mocks him further, asking if he's still dreaming of wiping out the Dragon Clan and leaving a legacy for generations. He tells him to wake up, declaring that he will die here, calling him an ignorant ant-pipe loser. Leon grits his teeth and mutters about having an opportunity. Ross Weiss, intrigued, questions what he means. She mocks him again, suggesting he's fantasizing about his descendants enjoying wealth and glory. She points out that he has no successors, so such a day will never come. Leon grits his teeth harder and warns her not to underestimate humans. Ross Weiss uses her tail to grab his neck, commenting on his stubbornness, and begins choking him. Leon suddenly addresses her as Her Majesty, surprising her. She asks if he's ready to beg for mercy. Leon calmly states that she made 2 mistakes. Confused, Ross Weiss demands an explanation. Leon elaborates. Her first mistake was being alone with the most powerful dragon slayer ever trained. Her second mistake was tasting his blood. He then activates his blood curse technique. Ross Weiss stumbles, affected by the curse, and releases Leon. She begins to feel hot, questioning what is happening to her body. She collapses, confused and in distress. Leon explains that she will soon live in endless pain, her soul trapped for the rest of her life. But Ross Weiss unexpectedly jumps on Leon, startling him. She questions what is happening and why she feels excited, drawing closer to him, as if to kiss him. An hour later, Ross Weiss regains consciousness and screams, demanding to know what he did to her. Leon explains that it's a blood curse, a forbidden technique that can only be used once in a lifetime. He explains that if someone tastes his blood, a soul connection is created. When he dies, the curse will subject her to endless pain. Ross Weiss screams in frustration, asking why the curse affected her before his death. And he asks anyone, Ross Weiss was married. Leon admits he didn't expect this side effect, assuming the pain would only manifest after his death. He adds that this was an accident. Ross Weiss, furious, yells at him to shut up. Leon smirks and points out that, as far as he knows, dragons follow the rule of monogamy. After his death, the great Silver Dragon Queen will not only be unable to find a new mate, but also unable to produce offspring. He adds that she won't even be able to explain to the Dragon Clan why this happened. The effect of the forbidden spell far exceeded his expectations. He mockingly recalls her earlier words about him having no successors, remarking that now she too will have no successors, Ross Weiss clenches her fangs in rage and charges at him, intending to kill him. Leon smiles darkly and questions if she dares to kill him. He tells her that she doesn't need to do it herself, as he will die soon. With gloomy eyes, he tells her to live with hatred for him and to pray for the rest of her life. He declares this to be her curse as a human. As Leon collapses, Ross Weiss kneels beside him, remarking that he's just a human. She accuses him of teaching her a lesson and taking revenge in such a despicable way. She mutters that he wants to die, but it won't be that easy. Activating a symbol on his chest, she ensures he won't escape her grasp. Leon Cosmos was once a legendary dragon slayer. When he was 5 years old, he killed his neighbor's vicious dog with his bare hands. He was spotted by a passing top dragon slayer and accepted as his apprentice. At the age age of 10, he entered the Imperial Dragon Slayer Academy for further studies, and 4 years later, he graduated with the highest age and the highest evolution in history. At 15, he set foot on the Dragon Slayer battlefield, killed countless dragons, recaptured territory, and made numerous military achievements for the Empire. Leon is known as the strongest dragon-slaying hero, and the only hope to lead the Empire to victory and end the war, until he was captured by the Dragon Clan. 2 years have passed since Leon was captured, and he wakes up in jitters as he questions where he is. A little girl comes into the room, singing that he is awake. Leon is too shocked by her cuteness, as Leon states that this is how it is, and he gradually understands everything. Jessica uncovers the mystery of her becoming a dragon, and somehow knowing it, states that this is how it is, and he gradually understands everything. It must be because he has made such a great contribution to mankind that he can reach heaven, and she must be the legendary angel. The girl questions what an angel is, for which Leon, calling her a little angel, questions what her name is. The girl introduces herself as Mun. Leon states that it is a good name, thinking, why is the hair color of this angel so strange, black and white hair? Muen states that Mum said it means the moon. Leon thinks that angels also have mothers, as Leon introduces himself as Leon Cosmos, for which Muen states that she knows, as Leon means lion. Leon questions who told her this, for which Muen states that this was what her mother said. Leon is quite confused, questioning if he may ask who her mother is, for which Muen reveals it as Ros Vais, petrifying Leon. Leon questions if her mother is Ros Vais. Then who is he? For which Muen reveals that he is her father, shocking the hell out of him. Leon crunches his hair, questioning if this is actually his and Rosweis's child. Meanwhile, Muen calls out for her mother as the silver dragon Rosweis comes in. Rosweis and Muen hug as Muen states that Dad is awake, for which Rosweis replies that she knows, teasing Leon that he is finally awake. Muen states that Mom must be happy to see Dad wake up because she comes to visit him every day, for Weiss affirms that it's right. While Leon is crunching his teeth, Ross Weiss pats Muena, asking her to go first as she has something to say to her father, for which she abides. Ross Weiss confronts Leon as Leon questions if Mune is really his daughter, for which Ross Weiss teases by commenting that she is their biological daughter. Closing the door, Leon screams that he hates her, and why did she give birth to the child, and why did she save him? Ross Weiss replies that he had been asleep for 2 years, and does he think she can just let it go after what he did to her 2 years ago? Leon questions if she thinks he wanted to do that, as they are different and they cannot coexist. If it were any other time, he would never have touched her. Ross Weiss questions if touching her is also terrible for him, for which Leon affirms that of course it is. Ross Weiss makes him fall with her tail as Leon questions what she is trying to do. Ross Weiss gazes upon him, stating that she wants to engrave her own dragon pattern on him, for which Leon screams not to do it. Ross Weiss states that it will become his shame, which means that from now on, he will be her prisoner, and he will never be able to leave her. Upon casting the dragon pattern upon Leon, she states that when his fellow humans see the dragon tattoo on his body, what will they think? They will assume that the great dragon slayer hero is a traitor who surrendered to the dragon clan. Leon questions why she did this to this extent, for which Ross Weiss states, doesn't he understand? The dragon race's concept of revenge has always been a difficult problem for human dragon scientists. Their revenge is an inhuman behavior that combines paranoia and extremes beyond human understanding. Ross Weiss reveals that she wants him to live in this shame for the rest of his life and be humiliated severely by her for the rest of her life. Leon feels quite hot, thinking that this feeling is quite weird. As for the Silver Dragon Queen Ross Weiss, it was the great honor to make Leon the greatest dragon slayer in human history, a slave of the Dragon Clan and the Silver Dragon Queen's closest partner in a sense. Ross Weiss states that they should get started, although it is so incredible from a human perspective. This is her revenge on the Dragon Slayer as a dragon. In the vast Silver Dragon Castle, the maids are whispering that the queen seems to be in a good mood, thinking that her husband woke up Neon. Hiding behind them thinks that the female dragon actually announced to the public that he was her husband, and they have no idea how terrifying that mother dragon is. Remembering what she did, Leon is terrified that she seized him for a whole day and night, and his vitals were almost broken. Leon decides that he will never stay here and become her plaything as he tries to flee, but seeing the guards upon the gate, he thinks that there are 4 dragon guards at the side door. It is impossible to get out from there. He questions why there are so few guards at the Silver Dragon Castle, as it's completely different from when he came here 2 years ago, and it's so quiet and strange. Leon, spotting a hole, questions how come there is a hole here, thinking that it can't be a trap. He shrugs off the thought, thinking that he can't think too much now and must leave no matter what. Even if it's a trap, he will force his way out. He bids farewell to the sadistic mother dragon. As for the little dragon named Muen, although she is very cute, she can only be there for the time being. From the scene apart, Muen calls out for her mother, asking if dad is digging a dog hole and how cool it is. Roswai says that she saw it and he's pretty awesome. Muen questions when mother will go and fish him back, to which Rosweiss gets close to her, stating that she can't use the word fish it back to her dad, as it's very rude. Muen questions what she should use, for which Rosweiss reveals that it's to catch him back. After some time, as Leon is running after climbing over these mountains, one can see the borders of human territory. After running so far, Leon thinks that the female dragon should not be able to catch up to him, but seeing a dragon descending down, he is shocked. Leon recognizes it as Rosweiss. Rosweiss, in her dragon form, questions that he is quite a runner, for which Leon tries to run away, but Rosweiss blocks his way. Leon screams that it must be fun to play with him like this, as Rosweiss replies that she is indeed very satisfied. She asks if he thinks this is too smooth and who helped him divert the guards and left a hole for him to escape. Leon questions that even if he knew it was a trap, he had no choice, and he just didn't expect her to catch up so quickly. Rosweiss questions what will happen if he returns to human territory, and he already has her mark on his chest. As John Leon starts, the love sect of Rosweiss's kin enters into him. She questions if he thinks that they will still recognize him as a dragon slayer. Leon screams that he will start his life again as an ordinary person, which is better than being tortured by her, for which Rosweiss replies that he doesn't know how to appreciate her kindness as she clenches Leon to fly through. Leon screams to let him go and asks where she is taking him, to which Rosweiss states that since he wants to go back so much, she will help him. 3 hours later, near the Empire border, Rosweiss throws Leon down as he falls through the trees. Leon screams that it hurts, but sees the civilization. Leon, surprised, asks if this is a human town. Rosweiss transforms back, affirming that this is the human empire. When he sees the long-lost human town, she questions if he feels that he can return to the human world by just stepping over it. So saying, Rosweiss fans the flame and lights the branches. She reveals that he can't go back, even if it seems close at hand, as his dragon crave activates. Rosweiss reveals that she forgot to mention that when one of the two people with a dragon mark wants to have fun with the other, the dragon mark will produce a reaction. Leon is now feeling hot all over, itching to get started and unable to bear the urge. Leon questions if she wants to do it here, to which Rosweiss affirms. She is questioning if he knows why she brought him here, as she wants him to understand what shame is in front of his hometown, so close to it. Leon questions if she thinks he will lose faith because of this, as he screams that he will wait patiently until that opportunity comes. By then, he will repay her double for all the humiliation she has done to him. Rosweiss affirms, stating that she will be waiting for him, dead or alive, as she gets close to Leon. Near the Empire border, as Rosweiss did the act with Leon, she states that she is very satisfied with his performance just now while Leon is crying out. Rosweiss teases Leon, suggesting that she would bring him here every month to visit his hometown, to which Leon shouts out, stating that she sees herself as a female dragon with her head in the clouds, thinking about how she is going to drain him. Rosweiss states that she has been seen through as she activates her wings, saying they have to go since their daughter is waiting for them at home. Leon asks her to wait, stating that as a dragon slayer, he doesn't want to be caught by her like prey and that he can walk by himself. Rosweiss informs that from here to the Silver City, it takes at least 3 hours to fly at her speed, and it would take at least 10 days or half a month for a human to walk. To which Leon responds that it's just 10 days or half a month, and not to underestimate human endurance. Rosweiss says she wants to see how long he can hold out. After a while, Leon is drenched and tired as Rosweiss asks if he can't walk anymore, and if he asks her, she would help him. Leon screams that he's not tired, and who said he was tired? Rosweiss states that the only thing that's tough is his mouth, to which Leon gets angry. They hear a noise as Leon recognizes it as a dragon slayer army. He gets happy, thinking that these guys may be able to help him get rid of the dragon. He tries to call them, but feeling the tense and murderous gaze of Rosweiss, Leon gets terrified that if he calls for help, Rosweiss will kill them without hesitation. One of the commanders asks to stop for a moment, asking Leon if the two of them are lost, to which Leon laughs, stating that they are just hanging out, thinking that he cannot implicate innocent people. The commander boards down, stating that this forest is not a good place to hang out, as there are many dangerous species and wild animals. He asks if he can take them for a ride, introducing himself as Walker, the captain of the 47th Squad of the Imperial Dragon Slayer army. Leon gets happy, thanking them for their kindness, stating they also learn some self-defense and he can protect them. As Leon gets worried that they can't come closer, Walker states that he looks familiar, questioning if he has seen him somewhere. Rosswise flinches as she's about to attack them. Leon realizes that it's no good and holds her up, getting close to her, stating that they must be mistaking him for someone else, as he has been popular. He adds that his wife often misrecognizes him, and he will go back with her obediently, asking to help him get rid of them. Seeing the romantic mood between them, Walker moves away, stating that he won't disturb their love as they move out. Rosswise questions if he is hugged enough as Leon moves away. Rosswise states that he was smart not to ask them for help, but one thing is that he has to figure out his own position. Just because they have children doesn't mean she is his wife. Leon states that he never thought of being her husband. Rosswise says they should go as they still have a long way to go. Leon groans out from blocking her attack just before as he falls down. Rosswise questions if he fainted, remarking on what a frail human being he is. She transforms into the dragon, placing him onto her back, stating that this time she will take that as a plea for mercy as she flies out. At the Silver Dragon Castle, as Leon wakes up, Muyen greets him asking if he is awake. Leon gets up, questioning how he got back here, to which Muyen states that it was Mother who brought him back. Leon, quite angry, guesses that she finally caught him like prey, noticing that his hand is bandaged. Muyen mentions that she was the one who bandaged it for him. Leon thinks back to what dragonologists once said, that dragons are a ferocious race living their lives in violence and blood from childhood. Although Muyen has obvious dragon traits, she shows no hostility toward him and treats him as her father. He wonders if it's because she is a human-dragon hybrid. Leon pats her, saying Muyen is awesome and cute, but when she grows up, she must not be like her mother. Just then, Rosswise is standing by their side, questions what's wrong with being like her. Leon gets scared, trying to shrug off the question, stating that it's nothing. Muyen proudly says she bandaged Dad's wounds according to her mother's instructions, to which Rosswise agrees, affirming that this is what she should do. Leon realizes what a strict mother Rosswise is. He pats Muyen, suggesting she hide in the garden first, and he will come find her when he counts to 100. Muyen gets excited, asking if Dad wants to play hide-and-seek with her, to which Leon replies that he's not like her mother, and she should go quickly as he counts down. Muyen replies that he's not like her mother, and she should go quickly as he counts down. Muyen, worried, runs out, asking him not to count so fast. After Muyen runs off, Leon calls out to Rosswise, asking if she isn't being too hard on the child. Rosswise replies that all dragons go through this. Only by being strict from a young age can they grow into strong warriors. Leon protests, saying Muyen isn't fully a dragon and is so cute, questioning how she can be so strict. Rosswise retorts that calling a dragon cute is derogatory. Leon tries to tease her, saying that she's pretty cute too. Rosswise grabs him by the collar, stating that he's just a slave for her to vent her anger on, and tells him to stop getting ahead of himself. Rosswise affirms that it's good he understands, as she is the queen of the Silver Dragon clan and has many government affairs to handle. She tells him the task of taking care of the children is now his responsibility, and whispers that the child likes him. The scene shifts to the garden, where Leon mutters to himself that he's the Dragon Queen, and it seems like the Dragon Slayer is now responsible for taking care of the children. He notices a girl hiding behind a pillar, and thinks Muyen is still young, and if she thinks he can't find her if she hides there, he points to her, saying he found her, but there is no response from her. Leon questions if she's angry. Leon apologizes for keeping her waiting, but she runs off. Leon chases her, asking what's wrong and why is she running. After a while, Leon wonders where she went, as he just saw her pass by. He thinks it's hard to predict a child's mood, and wonders why Rosswise gave him the task of taking care of Muyen. Just then, Muyen comes from behind and hugs Leon. Leon asks if she didn't just see him run past her. Muyen denies it, saying that Dad couldn't find her, so she came out to look for him. Leon wonders if he saw wrong. Muyen then says she has something to show him and pulls him away, as another girl looking similar to Muyen gazes toward them. While doing the drawing, Muyen is quite preoccupied with it. Leon, having butterflies, thinks that it's good to have a daughter and that it feels like his soul is healed. Sooner or later, he believes he will get his destiny, which will help him escape from the clutches of the mother dragon. Mien runs to Leon, saying that she drew a family portrait, for which Leon is delighted, thinking that Mien is awesome and worthy of being his. As Leon sees the sketch of two girls with two parents, he questions why there are two girls. Mien reveals that it's her sister. Leon is taken aback that Mien has a sister, as it turns out that he's not only hit the target with one shot, but also hit it twice with one shot. Leon grabs his head, scratching his hair, stating that the child he saw in the garden just now must be her. He called her by Muen, and it's no wonder that she was angry. Muen replies that she thinks her sister is not angry. She's just a little shy when she saw Dad. Leon ponders over it, thinking that they haven't met each other much, so it's normal that they aren't familiar with each other. He believes it's all the dragon's fault for hiding this child from him, and he has to ask for the truth. In the study room, Ross Weiss is dealing with the documents as a dragon reports to her when Leon barges in. Ross Weiss questions where Mune is, to which Leon screams that she went to play with her sister. He states that she is really good at hiding things, and questions when she was going to tell him that he has an older daughter. Ross Weiss states that he already knows this by now, to which Leon gets angry, stating that he has to thank her. The talker picks up with Leon presenting material to him to make his building. Ross Weiss states that he already knows this by now, to which Leon gets angry, stating that he has to thank her. Giving birth to a child is hard work, and he didn't expect that she would give birth to two for him. Stating that she worked hard, he screams that when he returns to the Empire someday, he will definitely write her name in their family tree. Ross Weiss questions if he knows why she didn't tell him about the existence of her eldest daughter, to which Leon replies that he thinks she was jealous of his closeness with Mien, so she deliberately didn't let her meet him as her father. Ross Weiss questions if he's anxious to see her, to which Leon replies that it's nonsense. He states that who doesn't want to meet their daughter? He's not like her, a cold and stern mother, and he wants to cultivate a good relationship with her. Leon gives Leon 1,000,000 Jusle feathers. Ross Weiss affirms it and asks him not to regret it. The scene shifts to the kitchen as Leon is playing with a knife, thinking that he's going to make a good meal today. Leon's first step to getting closer to his elder daughter was to open her stomach with delicious food. He thinks that he used to make this meal often in the team, and everyone who has eaten it stated that it was good. The sweet taste is also suitable for children. Leon, tasting it, thinks that it's not bad, and his cooking skills are not rusty. Leon flexes, thinking that this meal will definitely win Noah over, and Noah will love the food her dad cooks the most. Leon is humming when the maids, seeing this, whisper that the prince has just recovered from a serious illness, and he still cooks for his family. They praise him, saying that he is really a good male dragon who cares about his family. Just then, Ross Weiss, with her daughters, comes in, and they greet her. Ross Weiss orders that they don't have to wait for orders at dinner tonight and they can have a rest, to which they affirm. At the dining hall, Leon greets them, stating that they just came in time. Nguyen runs towards Leon, stating that it has a nice smell. Leon replies that she loves meat the most, so he made stew especially for her. As Leon thinks that Noah would feel her father's feelings, but to see that she shrugged her face away, Leon gets taken aback. Leon got a very different reaction from what he thought. He thinks that this female dragon has anticipated this situation, so she had not allowed him to meet Noah. Ross Weiss tells Noah that this is her first formal meeting and asks her to introduce herself. Noah introduces herself as Noah Kmelkfi, the eldest daughter of the Silver Dragon Queen, Ross Weiss, and she is 1 year and 2 months old. Leon knows that dragons are an immortal race, and that baby dragons grow faster than human children. Leon gets down, introducing himself as Leon. The second step for Leon to get closer to his eldest daughter was to say hello politely and leave a good impression, for which she gives a pretty silent reaction. Leon is worried, wondering why this child is so cold and if she has a grudge against him. Muen moves to her sister, stating to please talk more and not embarrass Dad. Noah states that he looks so weak and questions if he's really their father, inwardly stabbing Leon's chest. Leon comments on what a filial daughter she is, as Leon's career as a father faces its first crisis. Family dinners are supposed to be the best occasion for family members to talk and communicate, but now it has become Leon's most tormenting moment. Leon knows the two daughters look similar, but their personalities are completely different, and it's obvious that Noah is more like her mother. Leon calls out for Noah, questioning if she likes today's food, to which he comments that it's disgusting, stabbing Leon inwardly. Ross Weiss barely holds off her laughter as Moon asks her mother if she's happy. Ross Weiss replies that her father finally finally got to reunite with their family. Seeing him so happy, she's naturally happy as well. She asks Leon why he isn't smiling, to which Leon replies that of course he is, and he's happy to be with his family. Min asks her dad if he can have dinner with them every day, to which Leon is quite taken aback, thinking that he doesn't want to eat with this female dragon every day. Noah interrupts to deny it. Min questions the reason, to which Noah answers that it's because she wants to study at the Young Dragon Department of St. Heath Academy. Rosweiss states that the Young Dragon Department of St. Heath Academy is full of dragons that are 4 or 5 years old, questioning why she's anxious to enroll. Noah replies that it's because she wants to defeat more dragon slayers, causing Leon to choke on his food. Leon thinks that it seems this child wants to defeat him, her own father. Leon states that dragon slayers are all brave, but Noah is still so young, and she will get hurt. Leon states that dragon slayers are all brave, but Noah is still so young, and she will get hurt. Noah flares up, telling Leon not to treat her like a child. Leon is confused by the reality as she is really a child. Rosweiss interrupts, saying that she thinks Noah's idea is pretty good. The sooner she learns the skills, the sooner she can fight the dragon slayers. She asks Leon if that's not right and if he has a reason to stop Noah from going to school. Leon thinks that if he continues to oppose it, Noah will definitely hate him as a father even more, and he can only change her mind. Leon denies it, stating that there is no objection from him. Leon thinks that he finally gets it, that this female dragon wants to use Noah to mentally attack him during this dinner. He flares up in anger, thinking that she just has to wait, as he's going to get her kicked out later. Rosweiss states that since her father is okay with it, it's decided that the entrance test for St. Heath Academy will be held in a month. During this month, her father will help her improve, to which Noah affirms. At the end of the family dinner, Leon calls out for Rosweiss, stating that these plates haven't been cleaned yet. Rosweiss asks him to just let the servants do it, to which Leon states that after dinner, the couple cleans up and washes the plates together. This is the correct way to end the family dinner. That is, if she wants to create a harmonious family atmosphere in front of them, even if it's just fake. Muon is looking with curious, excited eyes, making Rosweiss agree to it. Muon questions if she wants to help as well, but Noah grabs her to move away, making Muon quite upset as she questions where they are going. The scene shifts to the kitchen as Rosweiss questions when he is going to help, to which Leon asks Rosweiss if she has forgotten what he said 2 years ago. She should never be alone with a highly trained and strongest dragon slayer as he activates his pattern. Rosweiss questions what he wants to do as Leon reveals that before, when he traveled a long distance and was exhausted, he was controlled and played with by a dragon pattern. But now it's different. Rosweiss tries to attack Leon with her tail, screaming if he thinks that he can escape from here by using this trick. But Leon blocks her tail attack, questioning who said he was going to run away. He activates his pattern, making Rosweiss fall. Leon questions if she is unable to do anything, as the dragon pattern makes her tail extremely sensitive. When her tail is pinched, she's like a kitten being pinched by the back of the neck, weak and powerless. This is the new knowledge he discovered from her dragon book. He gets close to her, questioning if dragons are eager to conquer and control everything, but has she ever been conquered? Shocking Rosweiss. As Rosweiss huffs with the pressure surrounding her body, she asks Leon to let her go, to which Leon responds that from the day he woke up, she trampled upon his dignity and treated him as a toy for her entertainment. He questions what she thinks about switching things up tonight, causing Rosweiss to curse him and scream, calling him a BT. Outside, the maids laugh and wonder if Her Majesty, the Queen's family-loving time is over. They open the kitchen to find it spotless, clean, without a speck of dust. They question if the prince did it. In the adjacent room, Leon peeks at them. He asks Rosweiss to be quiet, as she doesn't want to be discovered by the maids outside. He reflects on how the queen, who is usually so high and mighty, has become like this. He closes the door and states that they should get started, calling her dear wife. 3 days later, the scene shifts to the bedroom, where Leon is lying down. Muen comments that her dad hasn't woken up for 3 days, wondering if he's dead. Noah tells her to just wait and see as she kicks Leon's face. Leon mutters that he hurts so much, to which Noah responds that he's not dead yet. Leon questions if anyone else treats their dad like this. Leon finally wakes up, and Muen is delighted that her dad is awake again. Leon asks when he fell. Rosweiss offers to help him recall. Leon remembers that after that night, the dragon pattern was invalidated and he was hit hard by her. The female dragon was so cruel that if he were an ordinary person, he would have died several times under her claws. Looking closely, she is quite pretty, and she is clearly a female dragon over 200 years old. Min asks why her dad isn't moving, and Noah states that he just looked at their mother and was stunned. Rosweiss stumbles upon a hairpin, which falls to the ground. Leon picks it up and places it in her hair, commenting that it suits her quite well. Rosweiss remarks that she didn't expect him to be so considerate, questioning if he has done this for other women as well. He replies that when he was a kid, he often combed the hair of his master's donkey and became very skilled at it. Just like anybody! Mwen asks what a donkey is, and Leon explains that donkeys are similar to dragons, with 2 ears and a tail. They're very stubborn and like to hum when they're unhappy, just like their mother. Rosweiss punches Leon and he groans in pain, but Leon reassures her that he's fine. Rosweiss tells the children that their task today is to learn how to write their names, and their father will teach them. Leon questions why she has assigned him another task without his permission. Muen is quite happy that their dad will teach them how to write, while Noah comments that she can write too. Muen takes Noah aside, saying they need to go to the room to find a pen with some nice colors. She discusses their favorite colors as they move out. Rosweiss mentions that her sister is coming to visit today and she doesn't want him to appear in front of her. Leon questions why she doesn't let him meet her family as well. Rosweiss calls out for Leon, saying he is now a male dragon who married into the Silver Dragon clan. He has been in a coma for 2 years due to some disease and has only recently woken up. Leon questions why she doesn't let him meet her family. She's only recently woken up. If it comes to the point where they have to meet, he must play along with the identity she has created. Leon agrees to do so as she moves away. Leon thinks inwardly that if she believes he will listen to her obediently, she is mistaken. He plans to embarrass her in front of her sister, scheming something big. At the Silver Dragon Castle Children's Study, Leon teaches Noah and Muen to simply follow what he's taught and watch. He writes their names on the paper and asks them to imitate them, writing them a few times. Noah comments that it's not as good as what their mother wrote, to which Muen questions what their dad is going to do. Leon responds that he just forgot to give something to their mother and will go give it to her. He bids them farewell, saying he will be back later. Noah comments that he's stupid, while Muen remarks that she seems somewhat happy. Noah denies it, saying she's not happy, and asks Muen to go write it down quickly, though she's quite happy inwardly. The scene shifts to the Silver Dragon Castle gate, where Isha Melkvi, the Red Dragon Queen, has arrived at the port. Rosweiss greets Isha with a hug, saying she hasn't seen her for a long time. Isha replies that it's been a year and that Rosweiss looks much rosier. Rosweiss denies it, saying she doesn't think so. Isha comments that she heard Rosweiss' husband has woken up and asks why she can't meet him. Rosweiss tries to explain that he's feeling a little unwell today and cannot meet with her for the time being. Isha questions if that's really the case, expressing that it's a pity as she also wants to see what the Dragon King who kidnapped her sister looks like. She comments that Dragon King bonds are all about profit and clan, with no love involved, but she and the man in her family got married and had a baby at lightning speed, so their relationship must be very good as well. Rosweiss becomes embarrassed, questioning if that means marriage and having children make a relationship good. She adds that she is not attracted to him, not now and not in the future. Isha thinks that Rosweiss still likes to act tough as before. Rosweiss pushes Isha, saying it's been a while since they last met and they should go to the garden and chat. While walking, Leon, watching all of this through binoculars, comments that this is Rosweiss' sister. He says he'll try to see how far the dragon pattern can reach. Isha and Rosweiss reach the garden, where Isha comments that the dragon clan has been a little unstable lately, especially the Red Flame Dragon King, who has been very active recently. Rosweiss asks if it's Constantine, questioning why he hasn't been seen for years. Isha answers that who knows, as he's a hot-tempered guy. Maybe he wants to take the opportunity to expand his territory. Suddenly, Rosweiss' pattern has been activated. Isha asks if something is wrong with Rosweiss, but Rosweiss denies it and asks her to continue. Rosweiss grits her teeth, thinking it's the damn Dragon Slayer. Isha comments that they may need to strengthen the border defense and that she will send Sinlong to contact Rosweiss if there are any developments. Rosweiss, feeling hot throughout her body, questions if the effect of the dragon pattern is getting stronger and stronger. She worries that if it continues like this, she will lose control. Isha comments that she doesn't look okay as her face is red. Rosweiss tries to hold herself together, stating that she suddenly remembers she has something urgent to deal with and will be back in 20 minutes. Isha offers to accompany her, but Rosweiss declines and runs off. Isha comments that she realizes it's the dragon pattern, as young people are playing around with it. The scene shifts inside the castle, where Leon is having a good time. He thinks to himself that he wants to see how long Ross Weiss can endure. Suddenly, Ross Weiss bursts in. Leon calls out to her, asking how she's back so soon. Ross Weiss grabs him by the collar, stating that he deliberately chose this time to make the dragon pattern resonate just to embarrass her in front of her sister. Leon decides to pretend to be innocent and tries to say that it's not wrong for him to want her. Ross Weiss releases him from her grip, her face turning red with embarrassment. Leon thinks that it worked. At least she's disgusted by him. Ross Weiss tries to say that this shameless and defeated prisoner is talking nonsense and asks him to put away his deranged thoughts. She thinks to herself that she clearly came here to deal with him, so why did she get scared by just a few words from him? Ross Weiss tries to move away, stating that he's lucky this time, but if he does this again, she won't let him go. Leon teases her behind her back, thinking that he's not scared. He wonders how a single dirty word can make her so hesitant. He reflects that the dragon pattern is really powerful, but feeling quite hot inside, he questions when he thinks of her face. His heart beats so fast. Leon slaps himself to wake up, thinking he shouldn't be thinking about nonsense. He reminds himself that the kids are still waiting for him to come back, as Moon and Noah are still waiting patiently for their dad. In the Silver Dragon Castle at night, Isha is preparing to leave, stating that she will depart for today. Roswinder bids her to be careful on the road. Isha transforms into a dragon and asks if she can meet her husband next time. Roswinder agrees, saying they'll talk next time as Isha flies off. Roswinder curses the damn dragon slayer, thinking that she still hasn't taught him enough lessons, and that she's going to teach him one tonight. As Leon wonders if the female dragon is still scolding her, the kids are all asleep. He covers them with a blanket so they don't catch a cold. As Leon tries to leave the room, Roswisa confronts him, questioning where he's going. Leon asks if her sister is gone, to which Roswisa smiles and says they still have things to do today. She drags Leon out. Leon tries to deny it, but he gets dragged along anyway. In the Silver Dragon Queen's bedroom, Leon brings out the hot bucket, informing that the hot water is ready and what she wants to do with it. Ross Weiss states that she's very tired after walking all day and asks him to wash her feet for her. Leon is quite confused. Ross Weiss orders him to stop staring and do as he's told, saying this is a punishment for what he did today. Leon thinks to himself that he's the dragon slayer, but now he has to become a foot-washing slave for a female dragon. He curses, thinking that the female dragon really knows how to enjoy herself. He wonders how many dragon slayers' corpses she's stepped on with her feet. Roswisa, confused, questions why he's staring at her feet and wonders if it's some disgusting habit. Leon quickly washes her feet, rushing through it with hot water. Roswise kicks him out, stating that it's too hot, and throws him away. She asks if he's trying to get revenge on her on purpose. Leon groans, begging her to stop, thinking that this humiliating yet oddly comfortable feeling is too much. Roswise states that she wants to see how long he can endure. Leon thinks that he cannot succumb to the tyranny of a female dragon and grabs her foot. He says he's eaten pigs trotters, cow trotters, and goat trotters, but he's never eaten dragon trotters. Roswise is taken aback, asking what he's doing. Leon bites her leg, stating that today's snack is raw dragon claws. Roswise screams, telling Leon that she's going to kill him. The next day, Mune and Noah find Roswise limping as she walks. Mune asks why she's limping, but Roswise denies it. Mune then questions why Leon has bruises on his face, to which Leon denies it's nothing. Mune tries to say that they must have played some fun games without telling her, and she wants to join in as well, while Noah gazes at her. In the garden outside the Silver Dragon Castle, as Ross, Ruiz, and Leon stroll together, the maids whisper to each other, gossiping about the queen and the prince. They remark that the two look like a lovely couple, walking side by side. However, one of the maids is puzzled, questioning why it feels like the queen and the prince don't seem very familiar with each other. The atmosphere between them is oddly heavy, almost strained. Leon wonders to himself why things have become like this. Just earlier, he had been surprised when Roswis suggested they take a walk together. He questioned why he should go for a walk with her, but Roswis had responded that it was part of his job to maintain the illusion of family harmony in front of outsiders. Leon couldn't help but think there was something off about Roswis today. She was never this proactive, and he found himself wondering what she was planning. Meanwhile, Moon and Noah, hiding behind some bushes, are spying on them. Moon, excited, comments that their dad is so stupid for not even being able to hold hands with Roswis. She exclaims that she's going to help them, but Noah tries to stop her, urging her to leave them alone. Moon, however, is determined. She jumps out in front of them and confronts the two adults. Leon, caught off guard, asks why she's following them, to which Moon boldly grabs Leon and Roswice's hands and forces them to hold each other. She announces that that when taking a walk, they should hold hands together, and with that, she happily skips off, saying she's going to play with her sister. Leon, still bewildered, wonders where these children learned all this knowledge. By the tree, Noah pinches Myun, and Myun cries out, apologizing and promising never to do it again, asking her sister to let her go. Embarrassed by the situation, Leon comments that this is a bit unexpected and wonders what he should do next. Ross Weiss, however, reassures him that it's okay and that it's just fine to hold hands like this. She adds that it's nothing to worry about. Leon, still feeling awkward, mentions that Ross Weiss seems unusually docile today, which makes him feel a little uncomfortable. Ross Weiss responds somewhat teasingly that it seems he's been tamed by her. Now that she's getting along with him better, she's not used to it herself. Leon, deep in thought, reflects that Ross Weiss has always presented herself as a queen in front of others, maintaining a strong, distant image. He never expected that something as simple as holding hands would shake her composure. Maybe her strict image as a mother is just a facade because she doesn't know how to get close to her children. Leon then brings up the fact that Myun and Noah always call her mother in front of her. Ross Weiss looks at him puzzled and asks if there's a problem with that. Leon explains that in the usual way of calling dad is paired with mom, but while Myun calls him dad, she calls Ross Weiss mother. He questions, doesn't it seem like there's a bit of distance between them? Ross Weiss seems to consider this and asks if there's really a big difference between mother and mom. Leon smiles and affirms that there is. He suggests that she try getting them to call her mom instead, and bets that they'll feel much closer to her than they do now. Ross Weiss, surprised, runs off, stating that she understands and will try it next time. Leon, still a little confused, wonders why she's suddenly walking off so quickly. Ross Weiss turns back, asking if he's homesick. Leon, startled by the question, replies that he doesn't know why she's asking this all of a sudden, especially since she won't let him go back anyway. Ross Weiss, however, responds that she can't make him go home, but there's something that might help his homesickness just a little. The scene shifts to the castle warehouse, near the castle gate. Leon, following Ross Weiss, asks where they are going. Ross Weiss replies that she didn't give it a specific name. It could be called a warehouse, a utility room, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As they enter, Leon quickly recognizes it as a dragon's treasure trove. The room is filled with priceless antiques, some of which look centuries old. It's much more dense than Kim Joo-hyunson, and the ceiling to the floor is literally like half moon. Leon is stunned and remarks that if these items were placed in the Empire, they could easily be sold for hundreds of thousands of gold coins. Ross Weiss, however, simply nods and mentions that the bracelet on display is one her grandmother gave her when she was a child. She adds that, in addition to the spoils, there are also things here that are meaningful to her personally. Leon, curious, asks why she hasn't spoken much about her other family members, other than her sister. Ross Weiss, her tone turning a little somber, explains that she's never met her father and mother. She and her sister were raised by their grandmother. Leon, sympathizing, shares that he grew up in an orphanage and never met his parents either. He was adopted by his master and his wife, who raised him as their own. As they continue walking through the treasure trove, Leon asks what exactly she brought him here to show him. Ross Weiss stops in front of a large chest and says that she has something that might temporarily help him forget his troubles. Leon, intrigued, watches as Ross Weiss opens the chest, revealing the black gold armor inside. He gasps, recognizing it immediately. Ross Weiss asks if he's always wanted to get this armor back. Leon, still in disbelief, asks if he's dreaming, questioning whether she's really giving it back to him. Ross Weiss smiles sinisterly and affirms that she is indeed giving it to him. Leon, eager to touch it, reaches out, but as his hand gets close, he is repelled by a magical force. He realizes that the armor is enchanted with a dragon mark. Leon thinks to himself that his brother's black golden armor had fallen out. Ross Weiss, seeing his reaction, giggles, pleased that he's fallen into her trap. Leon, now frustrated, grits his teeth, knowing that he's been outsmarted. And now, upon activation of the dragon mark, Leon is stunned and questions what Ross Weiss has done to him. Ross Weiss, with a sly grin, explains that she has attached a dragon pattern to the surface of his armor, enhancing its properties. The moment he touches the armor, it activates. As Leon moves, the pattern pulses, and he feels his body seize up. He curses the deceitful female dragon, realizing too late that he was too careless in trusting her. And Weiss, watching him struggle, casually mentions that the enhanced dragon pattern has doubled the armor's effect. The moment Leon tries to move, he feels his body locked in place, his muscles refusing to obey his commands. Rosweiss steps closer. She asks if he can bear it, calling him Dear Dragon Slayer in a mocking tone. Leon, unable to move, barely manages to call out her name, his body still frozen under the influence of the dragon pattern. The sensation in his lower body, however, is stronger than ever, a rush of heat that he can't control, making the situation even more humiliating. He curses himself for being so easily manipulated. Rosweiss, enjoying his discomfort, climbs on top of him, her eyes glinting with mischief. She asks if he thinks that she holds no grudge for being conquered by him before. She admits that she's spent the past few days plotting her revenge, thinking about how to lower his guard and make him vulnerable. She smirks, revealing that she didn't expect him to fall for her trap so easily. Leon, seething with frustration, curses her under his breath. Rosweiss, seemingly pleased with herself, asks if her acting skills are impressive. Leon screams at her, questioning if everything she's told him today was a lie. He demands to know if she ever truly met her parents, if her request for Muen to call her mother and to hold hands was just a ploy. Rosweiss denies that it was not all false, but assures him that it doesn't change what she plans to do to him next. With a smirk, Rosweiss begins to undress, teasing him with her words. She asks what he had told her earlier, whether she would like to conquer him. She affirms that she does enjoy the act of conquest and questions if he's ready for it. As she calls him her dear husband, Leon feels a wave of dread wash over him. The tension in the warehouse continued, and after a while, Leon finally cries out after getting drained out, thinking that it's finally over, but as he looks at Rosweiss, he realizes she's still staring at him, her gaze unreadable. Leon asks her what she's doing. Rosweiss responds, almost absent-mindedly, that compared to 2 years ago, the scars on his face have faded, but he now looks more haggard, more mysterious, and has the air of a man who's lived through more than he's willing to show. She comments that he now has the flavor of a mature man, something that wasn't there before. Leon, flustered, tries to shy away from her gaze, stating that she's trying to play tricks on him again, but he won't fall for it this time. Rosweiss, however, just laughs and tells him that he's become smarter, though his health isn't what it used to be. She mocks him lightly, adding that he's not as fit as he once was. Leon realizes the truth in her words. He's not in the same shape as before, not as strong or as healthy as he used to be. The realization stings, and he lets out a frustrated scream, feeling both physically and emotionally drained. The next day, Leon, looking quite tired, steps out of his room. Rosweiss greets him with a teasing smile, commenting that it seems like he didn't sleep well last night. Leon, gritting his teeth, shrugs it off, muttering that it's all because of what she said and did. Rosweiss giggles, pretending not to remember what happened, but Noah, observing from a distance, knows that things are about to start again. Rosweiss, in her usual authoritative tone, tells Leon that the entrance exam for the Heath Academy is very strict, and he should start tutoring Noah on dragon knowledge today. After all, for now, the only way he can prove his value is through his knowledge in other areas. Leon, fired up despite his exhaustion, thinks to himself that yesterday was just a bad day, and today he'll be in better shape to help Noah pass the test. At the same time, he plans to use this opportunity to get something of equal value from Rosweiss in exchange. Rosweiss, sensing his intent, agrees to his request but warns him that it can't be too excessive. Leon, with a sly grin, reminds her that a promise is a promise, and he expects her to keep her word. Rosweiss, moving away, cheerfully tells him to study hard and not to get too tired, making Leon angry once more. He screams at her, calling her out for all the teasing and manipulation, but she simply walks away, unfazed. Noah, who has been listening to the exchange, asks why Leon and Rosweiss were quarreling. Leon, trying to play it cool, explains that it's just their usual daily communication. But then he asks Noah what she just called Rosweiss. Noah looks at him innocently and replies that she called her mom. Leon, a little taken aback, asks if Rosweiss had asked her to change the name to that, and if she preferred the old name or the current one. Noah, without hesitation, replies that she prefers the current one. Leon smiles, pleased that his suggestion worked. He tells Noah that he knew they would come to love it. Noah, impressed, runs off excitedly, asking when they can start studying. Leon, now feeling nervous about the upcoming tutoring session, calls out to her, asking her to wait for him. At the Silver Dragon Castle, in the children's study room, Leon is pondering over the books, reading them out loud. Rosweiss comes in, stating that it's so late and he hasn't slept yet. Leon replies that Noah has a strong ability to learn and comprehend, so simple teaching isn't suitable for her. He planned to organize some key knowledge points and and combine them with test questions to teach her, and now he can only stay up late to organize the lesson plans. Leon joins Roswase and Juhing takes over as teacher, and now he can only stay up late to organize the lesson plans. He adds that Noah is a very smart child, so he is confident that he can get her to pass the test within a month. Roswise affirms that it's inevitable after all, since Noah follows her. Leon replies that that's not exactly true. He was a dragon-slaying genius who graduated first in both written exams and practical tests every year, receiving all the highest-level scholarships at school. He then questions Roswise about what champion she is. Roswise is taken aback, having always thought he was a reckless man who only knew how to fight and kill. She didn't expect that he was also a top student. Roswise affirms that if he's so powerful, then how come he became her prisoner? Leon grumbles that he lost that one time, and one misstep can lead to eternal regret. A tiger in troubled times is bullied by a dragon. Roswise giggles, saying he's afraid of being ridden by a dragon. Roswise spots a chili pepper and questions what he's going to do with it. He replies that he took it from the kitchen to refresh himself, biting it off. Roswise warns him to wait, saying that it's the dragon yellow pepper, and since he's human, she's afraid he can't bear it. Leon feels the spiciness and grumbles, "Fire," stating that it's very spicy. He tries running here and there, asking for water, but complains that there's no water out here. Roswise holds him, saying that her hands are cooler and will make him feel very comfortable. Feeling the coldness, Leon notes that Roswise's fingertips are icy cold, and the places they touch feel very comfortable. Not as sharp and irritating as ice, but with a very gentle coolness. Leon thanks her, stating that it's okay now as both of them feel embarrassed. Roswise tries to move away, asking Leon to go to bed early or not eat too much chili. If his mouth gets spicy, he'll have to teach Noah in sign language. Leon affirms, telling her to take care. He thinks that he actually wanted her to touch his face more just now. A shiver runs down his spine, and he tells himself to wake up. She is the evil dragon who tricked him into a small corner, squeezed him like this, and finally said that he doesn't have enough physical strength. Leon thinks that just thinking about it is a bit POVD, and he needs to find a way to make his body recover quickly. He reads that a red dragon fruit has the effect of regulating chi and blood. He thinks that's not it, as lotus grass taken internally can regulate digestive function and be applied externally to treat injuries. But he gets shocked when he sees Dragon Big Force. The next day, Leon calls out to Noah, stating that the test she just took has been corrected and the full score is 100. He asks how much she thinks she got. Noah answers that maybe 50. Leon reveals that it's 62 points, higher than she expected. Noah is quite motivated. Leon is confused, wondering if she's not satisfied with her grades. He thinks that this kid has high standards for herself and should be playing carefree like Mwen, but she took the initiative to go to school to study. Leon pats her, saying that she got 62 points on her first try, which is pretty impressive. Noah thanks him, while Leon states that they should now focus on these mistakes as he coughs. He apologizes, thinking that he ate too much chili last night, as his throat is itchy now. To cheer himself up, he ate a few more peppers. Noah remembers her mother's words that her dad was making a study plan for her last night. Although he seems unreliable, he's a top student. Noah got to know that dad ate the Dragon Clan's extra spicy yellow pepper last night to keep from falling asleep, so it would be strange if his throat was okay. Noah gives Leon a token, stating that it's for him. Noah clarifies that it was her mother who gave it to him, not her. Leon smiles, telling Noah to thank her mother. He thinks that this child is just like Roswise, cold on the surface, but actually not good at expressing her kindness. Leon bites it off, and they cheer to continue learning. The relationship between father and daughter has become a little closer as they move forward with their learning. In the Silver Dragon Castle kitchen, as the maids are preparing, they call out for Leon, the Lord Prince, saying that the herbs he asked them to find are all here. He offers to put them all out. He thinks that he specifically asked them for extra herbs so they wouldn't guess what he was going to do. He believes that the medical materials needed to prepare Dragon Great Force are very common, and it seems that the steps of refining are not too complicated. Leon questions what it says about even the most outstanding pharmacists of the Dragon Clan having a low chance of successfully creating Dragon Great Force. Leon follows the recipe to grind and prepare the herbs he wants to use, then puts them into the pot to boil. A few hours later, Leon groans that he failed again. It's not that easy. He thinks that he followed the instructions in the book book several times, but each time he failed at the last step of drug purification and separation. The high temperature separation method described in the book is too high. High temperature will cause the drug to be inactivated, and too low a temperature will not be able to quench drugs pure drugs. Leon realizes that it's impossible to achieve the separation effect by just shaking it manually, as professional instruments are needed. The master often says that if one way doesn't work, one must look for other ways. He questions if there are any other effective methods to separate the medical residue. As thunder rumbles, Leon wonders if it's going to rain soon. He goes to the window, thinking, and calls out for thunder. He remembers the teacher once said in alchemy class that electrolysis of impurities sometimes has a higher success rate than roasting with fire. Maybe they can try using the thunder element, which isn't mentioned in the book. He's best at lightning magic, and although he has only recovered a little bit of his magic power, it's more than enough for this kind of subtle manipulation. Half an hour later, as he uses his thunder ability, he succeeds in making the pill. Leon thinks the Dragon Clan's medicine is quite simple to make. As Muen comes in, questioning what Leon is making, Leon states that it's good stuff. Leon calls out for Muen to stop trying to eat it, but she questions if that candy is for Daddy. Leon states that this is the medicine he made for Mother. Muen asks if her mother is sick, but Leon denies it. He saw that her mother had been too busy recently, so he'll give her some nourishment and tell Muen not to worry. Actually, it was meant for himself to eat. Muen states that Daddy must take good care of Mommy, to which Leon affirms that's what a dad should do, though inwardly he thinks he'll really take good care of her once he's recovered. As the thunder continues in the room, Leon thinks that although Dragon Great Force has been cultivated, he wonders if the Dragon Clan nutritional supplements will have negative effects on humans. He decides to put it aside for now, as the door gets knocked and Rosweiss comes in. Leon calls for Her Majesty, questioning why she's here. Rosweiss says that she heard from Muen that he made her a medicine that looked like chocolate candy to regulate her body. Leon groans, saying that his little bottle clearly leaked out so quickly. Rosweiss tells Leon not to be so nervous, as she's not here to question him or anything. She's just surprised that he can make such simple medicine in such a simple environment. Rosweiss asks what he refined and if he can show it to her. Leon states that even if he says no, she would still use violence to take it away. Rosweiss states that it's good and he's really amazing to be able to refine such perfect Dragon Great Force under such conditions. Now that we're done, Leon says, now when we're done with Silver Shod, we can always stop at taking the liquid and create flavor, but before that we need the base metals that we're powdered with and collect down. Rosweiss says he can keep it, but he can't take this medicine now. Leon questions why that is, to which Rosweiss replies that as a tonic drug for the dragon race, it's too strong for the human body. Leon questions if this medicine is really so powerful. Rosweiss reveals that she is kindly reminding him that, as a human being, he cannot withstand its power. Leon states that, so what if he doesn't have the power of a dragon? He's defeated countless dragon kings, so why can't he withstand a small pill? He calls out to Rosweiss not to underestimate him, gulping it down, stating that courage is the hymn of humankind. Rosweiss gets worried that he can't do it, but it's too late as Leon gargles inside his body. Rosweiss curses him, saying she has hardly ever used healing magic. As Leon groans, Rosweiss asks how he's feeling now and lets her try to break down the effects of the pill for him, but Leon shoves Rosweiss away. He asks him to look carefully. This is the courage and determination of humankind, as he tries to breathe the effect away. As the lightning engulfs the whole room, Leon screams out as he uses lightning. Rosweiss is surprised that he's using lightning magic on his own body, questioning what on earth he is doing. Leon faints and drops down, but Rosweiss barely holds him up as she comments that he's really a madman. She tries to move out, stating that she has to get the physician, but Leon stops her by pinching her tail. Rosweiss questions what he did. Leon gets close to her tail, calling her wife and questioning where she is going. Rosweiss, taken aback, is confused by this reaction as she asks who his wife is and tells him to let her go. But Leon, still hanging on, states that he won't let his wife go. He calls out for wife. Rosweiss is confused, thinking that the dragon's great force should only have the effect of strengthening the body and should not cause unconsciousness. She questions if it's the magic power of the lightning element that changed the effect of the medicine. Rosweiss observes that he looks like an idiot now, so his life won't be in danger for the time being. Leon continuously calls out for his wife while hugging her tail. tail. Rossweiss affirms that she is here, asking what is wrong and to tell her. Leon reveals that he wants a second child, embarrassing Rossweiss. Rossweiss screams that he hasn't taken good care of the 2 children from her first pregnancy, and now he wants another one, telling him to forget it. Leon groans that he wants a second child as he makes a fuss about it. Rossweiss, devastated, thinks that to avoid unnecessary complications, it's better to just follow his words. Rossweiss affirms that they don't just want a second child, they want a third and fourth, to which Leon proposes that she has to go back to her hometown with him. Rossweiss states that they will go back after they have settled down, which makes Leon happy. Rossweiss thinks that this guy is even more annoying than that individual as Leon gets close to her for a kiss, but Rossweiss shoves him away, denying him the chance to take advantage of the situation. Rossweiss is confused about when the effect of this medicine will wear off. Rossweiss tries to pin down Leon, calling him an idiot as he groans in pain. Rossweiss is quite worried and can't help but beat him up as she questions if he's okay. Leon states that he feels a little uncomfortable as the dragon pattern on Rossweiss activates. Rossweiss thinks about why the dragon pattern activated at this time as she unclothes Leon, but Leon gets on top of Rossweiss, making her quite embarrassed and taken aback. Rossweiss questions what he is doing, to which Leon states that he feels really bad and hot all over, and his chest itches. Rossweiss thinks that the dragon pattern, mixed with the elements of lightning, made his body's desire even stronger than before. Leon kisses Rossweiss's tail and states that his wife's tail smells so good and that he likes her tail the most. Rossweiss thinks that if this goes on, she will be scammed as she grabs his face, stating that her tail drags on the ground all day long and asks if he doesn't mind it. Leon gets upon Rossweiss, for which she warns him to get off her quickly, but Leon puts his finger on her mouth, calling her beautiful tonight. Rossweiss gets embarrassed as she tries to shrug off the question, thinking about what's going on and how this man's attitude is completely different from before. This kind of madness and brutality cannot be rejected, and she actually has a little expectation. Leon states that she can help him, to which Rossweiss affirms that it's only for tonight, as they act upon it again. The next day, as Leon wakes up to find Rossreed greeting him, he is taken aback. He questions why she is here and realizes that his whole body aches and his memory is a little fragmented. As he questions Rossreed about what happened last night, Rossreed asks if he doesn't remember anything, wondering if he forgot this. She shows all the bite marks all over his body. Leon realizes there are so many hickeys and wonders if it was him who did it. As Leon remembers all the acts he did, he screams in denial. Rossweiss questions if he remembers how he begged her to do this with him last night, calling him honey, stating that they should do this one last time. She imitates him, saying he felt really bad and to help him just this last time. Leon shouts at her not to say it again as he will remember it all. Leon thinks that he had found the dragon drug just to keep his body healthy and teach Rossweiss a lesson, and he didn't expect this drug to be so effective. Leon states that he admits he went a little too far last night, questioning if he hurt her, to which Rossweiss affirms that it's okay. Leon states that now she should know whether he's good in health or not, and next time not to tell him that he's not good enough. Rossweiss stares at Leon as she gets close to him, stating that she's very much satisfied with his performance last night, calling him a dragon slayer, hoping that he can keep doing this in the future. Leon is shocked that now he's in the service industry. As Rossweiss comments about the bet to change the name, she admits she wants to know if he has thought about what requests he would like to make. Leon thinks that he has thought about it, questioning if he can send someone to the Empire to check on his master and his wife. Rossweiss states that silver dragons aren't very good at sneaking, but if he's just visiting someone, it's not a problem, to which Leon is surprised and thanks her. The scene shifts to Silver Dragon Castle Garden, where Leon is sleeping and Mwen is drawing. She questions if he is sick, which Leon denies, asking why she asked. Mwen states that mom told her that dad took the medicine yesterday himself, and a man can't say that he's sick. Leon grumbles that the female dragon told such a thing to a child, wondering if she has any dignity. Mwen questions if her dad is totally unwell, asking if it's because the medicine is not effective enough or because he took too little medicine. Mwen states that it would be rude to ask any more questions. As Mwen states that his mouth is bleeding, she calls out that she can't live without her dad and begs him not to die. Leon states that he is really fine and doing well. Leon thinks that, as expected, she is Rossweiss's daughter, and he always feels that she is similar to her in some ways. Leon suggests making her a new toy today, which excites Mwen as she agrees that she loves loves toys the most. Leon makes a Rubik's Cube, stating it's a little toy she can twist at will. Leon recalls learning principles of simple mechanical linkages in the Alchemy mechanics school classes, and he didn't expect to use it when taking care of his own baby today. It is special to be a babysitter. Leon hears a voice as he turns to the garden, but finds no one. Muin questions what's wrong, which Leon denies. Leon thinks that he felt the dragon's gaze, questioning if that direction is where Noah does physical training, but the child won't come up to join them, and he should make one for her as well. The scene shifts to nighttime as Noah sneaks into Moon's room to leave a Rubik's Cube with a letter from Dad for Noah to try. Noah convinces herself that she's not interested in this kind of children's toy, but she is very much excited as she solves it to thank her dad. The scene shifts to Noah's treasure box as Moen tries to peek, thinking that her sister has been acting strangely lately, and often hides things in a box under the bed without telling her. She decides to take a look at what good things are inside while her sister is away. As Detective Moen is on the move, she discovers the Rubik's Cube from Leon, fragments from Leon's black and gold armor, and the name written by Leon. Moen realizes they all seem to be related to Dad, and she actually thinks that her sister is really good to her dad. Noah comes from behind and apprehends Moen, warning her that she's not allowed to peek. St. Heath Academy is an aristocratic college among the Dragon Clan. It has strict standards for admitting students, and families are an important part of the assessment criteria. St. Heath Academy believes that whether it is a couple pairing or normal live birth by a couple, only in a harmonious, loving family that advocates dragon ideals can qualified young dragons be cultivated, and the Academy only accepts such students. The only person to even immediately notice a new dragon has maintained family honor and the Roman Republic, John. But they're it. In order to create the illusion of a harmonious and loving dragon family, the Silver Dragon Queen decided to take the whole family on an outing and take a family photo together. In the Sky City, Leon bows down as Leon carries Moen down. Moen calls out to Dad, questioning why he doesn't turn into a dragon, as she wants to see that. Leon thinks that her dear father is very good at slaying dragons, but as for turning into a dragon, she has to forget it. Noah questions if Leon can't change, to which Leon gets flustered as he looks at Roswesis. Roswesis reveals that his dragon father's body hasn't recovered yet, so he can't transform into a dragon for the time being, and she will show him when he recovers. Moen urges her dad that he must get well soon, to which Leon states that he will try his best. Thinking that although it isn't possible, as they move out, Roswesis states that they should go into the town as they have things to do today. Moon and Noah run out, exclaiming that there are so many dragons. While Noah takes care of her, Leon is shivering. Roswesis thinks that this guy is shaking, affirming that this should be the first time he has seen so many dragons since he woke up from his coma. Roswesis asks Leon if he's scared, to which Leon reveals that he's excited as he points out to the dragons, saying they are first-class merit all over the streets, and he's going to get rich. And Roswesis groans that she worried about him unnecessarily, as Leon wonders how much money he can get if he brings them all back. Upon reaching a place, the two receptions welcome them, the Silver Dragon Queen. They state that it is a pleasure to serve her and their family. Moen and Noah comment that there are so many photos of dragons. Leon questions Roswesis if she is the Silver Dragon Queen, asking why she came to the store to take photos in person. Roswesis states that a dragon king of a tribe can only command people from their own tribe, but the dragons of Sky City do not belong to any tribe. Leon states that her status as a queen is a little bit low, as Roswesis pokes her heel onto Leon's foot, making him groan. Roswesis states that she is taller than him. The old woman states that it's their honor to be able to take a family photo for the Silver Dragon Queen, to which Roswesis replies that everyone says her photography skills are top-notch among the dragon tribe, and they're lucky to have successfully made an appointment with them. The old woman asks about her husband's tail, to which Roswesis reveals that he doesn't like his tail showing, so she chose a tailless suit for him, remembering Leon making a fuss that he will never wear the tail dummy, and even if he dies, it was a matter of his dignity. The old woman affirms and pleads for them to move over to a place and try on the clothes first, with Nguyen quite excited. After a while, after getting dressed, Leon gets into a white suit. Nguyen compliments that he is looking so handsome, as the old woman praises that it suits the prince very well, and he must have been very popular in the past. Leon states that the last time he wore a formal suit was at his school graduation ceremony. Subject to fame, Leon calls out to Noah asking how she feels, to which Noah affirms that he looks quite handsome. Leon peers at both of them, stating that their skirts are cute as well. As Roswesis comes out in a black dress, Nguyen compliments that she is so beautiful, as Leon is awestruck by her. Roswesis questions what he is doing, to which Leon barely affirms that it suits her. Roswesis states that she thinks it would be nice if he had a tail, to which Leon groans that he will never put on a tail in his life. Moon calls out for her mother and dad to come there as soon as they get into the frame. The old woman states that it's time to take pictures and asks Her Majesty and Prince to come closer while they do things that they don't want to. The old woman asks them to smile at the count of 3 as they take pictures with each other. The old woman comments that they really look like a couple. The old woman revealed that it will take about 6 hours for the photos to be developed, and during this time, Her Majesty can take a stroll around the sky state, to which they agree. Moving out, Moon and Noah are quite excited as Moon suggests that they should go over there and take a look. Leon tells Rosweise that he never thought that one day he would be able to go shopping with her, and it's really new. Rosweise replies that this is all to maintain their family image, and Noah takes the entrance exam very seriously as she has been working hard for almost a month, and it is good to relax occasionally. While moving to a toy shop, the old person reveals that it's a pity for the kid and she would definitely be able to hit it if she tried a few more times, but she was unsuccessful. Leon questions if there is also this kind of shooting game here, to which Moon calls out to him. Noah pouts out with anger that she can't hit it. Leon thinks that this game only makes money if she can hit the target. Rosweise states that the bullets of this toy gun are made of magical energy, which requires certain precise control of the magical energy, and it's indeed a bit difficult for Noah. Leon realizes that he has played this before at the human market, as the old person stated that if the two of them would like to try it and hit all the balloons within 10 shots, they can take the pair of dolls, and their daughters seem to want them. Well, the old shopkeeper specially made the kids try it out, just to attract their parents to come over and make big money. Leon questions the kids if they want those teddy bears, to which Noah shrugs it off, saying she's not interested, while Myeon comments that she doesn't want it either. Leon realizes that's what they wanted. Leon asks the person to give him 10 shots, pointing to Rosweise that she will pay. Leon thinks that it's been a while since he held a gun. The last time was when he was at the Dragon Slayer Academy. As Leon tries to shoot at the targets, he is initially unable to do it. The old man smiles sinisterly, thinking that he made some changes to the gun, so no matter who comes, it will be difficult to hit the target. But in an instant, he's shocked, his eyes popping out as Leon easily hits the target. Leon states that he tried the sides with his first shot, but he didn't expect that he would hit the targets after that, and he was so lucky. The shopkeeper is left dumbstruck, wondering how this is possible. Muen is quite impressed, stating that he is so great, while Noah is in awe as well. The shopkeeper admits that it's awesome and gives out their prize, as he wants Leon to take it away and leave quickly, to which Leon thanks him and gives the dolls to the daughters as they thank Leon. Rosweise thinks that although this guy is usually a little off-cue, every time he gets serious, he always has a special charm. Rosweise notices Leon staring at her to make her question what he is looking at. After a while, as a little dragon girl points out to Rosweise that she wants that teddy, as Rosweise is carrying a big teddy bear as well, Leon laughs, questioning if she saw the miserable expression of the unscrupulous businessman at the end, feeling like he had gotten off his anger. Rosweise says that for her, she would just advise them not to waste their time on such a childish game, to which Leon replies that they had come out, and it's good that they are having fun. He questions if she doesn't like it, to which Rosweise pouts to mutter that she didn't say that. Leon comments that she's here and he can't let her go back empty-handed, making Rosweise think that bears are just inedible food that is not even good enough to fill their stomach, but she questions why they are cute when made into toys. Rosweise shrugs it off, informing Leon that after dinner tonight he has to come to her room to find her, shocking Leon. The scene shifts to the castle as Leon is walking down, thinking that Rosweise invited him to her room late at night, and he's alone here. Something is bound to happen if he goes to her room. He curses that if he goes, he will feel uncomfortable for a night, and if he doesn't go, he will feel uncomfortable for a week. As he grumbles that he's going to face it, he knocks on the door but finds that it's unlocked. He gets into the room, questioning where she is, thinking that he is too early and she's still taking a shower. He thinks that the quality of this glass seems not very good, but grumbles that he really has to do this tonight. He tries to calm down as he peeks in, and Rosweise comes in, stating that he's here and they should get started. Leon is worried that he's going to get squeezed dry again. She questions where he would like to do it, the living room or the balcony, to which Leon is taken aback, stating that it's not good and it would be embarrassing to be seen by others. Rosweise states that in the living room it makes no difference where it is, to which Leon covers his face as he asks her to come on then, falling onto the sofa. Rosweiss questions what he is doing, to which Leon asks if she doesn't want to do that. Rosweiss states that he seems unhappy, but tonight is not suitable and they should do it another day. Leon gets into position, questioning about the document, to which Rosweiss reveals that these are the test questions for the viviparous families assisted by St. Heath's Academy in the past, and they are all about living habits, personality, and experience of the partners. They need to prepare their answers in advance to avoid affecting Noah's admission assessment, and if they are unable to answer these questions, it could cause problems. Leon, seeing the document, states that these are boring questions from the couple's understanding game. He questions what color she likes, to which Rosweiss reveals it is black, and asks about his color, to which Leon reveals it is silver, as they stare at each other. Because of their partner's appearance, they try to shrug it off as just a coincidence, to which Leon affirms as well. And Rosweiss states that in short they should test how well they know each other, to which Leon agrees as they take on the test. Leon laughs that his score is higher than hers, and it seems that he knows the queen better, making Rosweiss growl in anger. Rosweiss thinks that she didn't expect that he even noticed her little habits, like how she likes to sit and how to place her tail most comfortably. She realizes that he must be quite observant. Rosweiss thinks that the mistakes were all in her guessing, and she has always been used to keeping things to herself and never telling others, so it is normal for him to guess wrong. Rosweiss thinks that maybe if this person is the one, she can do it. Leon realizes that she has been staring at him since earlier, questioning if it's because he got a higher score than her and if she is holding a grudge against him. Leon tries to laugh, saying that the time they spent together was too short, so it's normal that she can't get a high score in the short time, and for Noah's sake, he pleads that she has to try to understand him a little better, embarrassing Rosweiss as her heartbeat fastens up, and Rosweiss screams at him not to talk nonsense and to write down his correct answers now. Leon questions if she got this question wrong, stating that she actually said she has never been disappointed in him. Rosweiss denies that, saying if she must say there were few Dragon Great Forces last time, to which Leon groans that from now on he will eat Dragon Great Force pills as his meals and not to regret it, to which Rosweiss teases that she is looking forward to it. The scene shifts to the night before the entrance exam, as Leon laughs at it's good, and after a week of hard work, their every score on the test questions can reach over 80 points, and if they perform normally, there will be no problem with the family assessment. Rosweiss falls down in relief as Leon states that if there is nothing else, he will go back first, to which Rosweiss holds him, stating that there is a bathtub in her bathroom, and he can go take a bath and then come back. Leon questions if he's taking a shower in her room, to which Rosweiss pushes him out to just go and wash when she tells him and to hurry it up. Leon in the bathroom thinks about why she wants him to take a shower here for no reason and if she's planning something bad, but he thinks that she's been very nervous these days because of the entrance exam, so she should be fine. He enjoys the bathtub, thinking that no matter what, he just has to enjoy it first because it feels so good. But to his surprise, Rosweiss comes into the bathroom as Leon is too shocked to see her. Rosweiss says that she has been feeling a lot of pressure these days and she wants to vent it out, as Leon blanks out, realizing that what he was thinking has finally come true. Leon screams that if she was under pressure, why is she putting pressure on him? To which Rosweiss winks at him, stating that by transferring that pressure to him, she can be relieved. She questions if he didn't come here with this mentality a few days ago, to which Leon bit his tongue as he can't deny it. Rosweiss jumps into the bathtub, stating that he can't run away and asks Leon to just surrender. The scene shifts to St. Heath's College on entrance examination day. Seeing the numerous and huge buildings, Leon is surprised, stating that this is Heath College, but Rosweiss doesn't respond. Leon stares at Rosweiss as he teases her, questioning what's wrong with her, joking that he just finished decompression last night. This embarrasses Rosweiss, who snaps back, telling Leon to go to hell quietly, which makes him laugh. Upon reaching the college entrance, the receptionist confirms Noah's age as 3 years and 4 months. Leon questions if she has any more questions, but she declines, explaining that although the academy stipulates the minimum age for young dragons to enter is 1 year old, in reality most young dragons who enter are 4 to 6 years old. She adds that Noah seems a little young, but is cut off by Rosweiss, who interrupts to assert that Noah is very smart smart, and her age is not a problem. Respecting their views, the receptionist advises them to go in, explaining that a special staff member will take Noah to the written test, while accompanying parents proceed to the 4th floor for a home assessment. Upon reaching the meeting room on the 4th floor, Rossweiss clings to Leon, spinning a question about whether he thinks the 3 interviewers are easy to deal with. Leon whispers that one looks easy to kill, but before she captured him, he could easily take his head in 50 rounds. Leon grows excited, thinking that if they refuse to admit Noah, he will confront them forcefully to make them feel the power of this parent. One of the interviewers, an older man, introduces himself as Walter Wilson, the vice principal of St. Heath College, and explains that he is in charge of assessing the 2 parents today. They will only need to answer his questions, which makes Leon suspect the man is not simple, wondering if there will be any strange problems. Walter begins by asking if they remember their wedding anniversary. This prompts Leon and Rossweiss to recall their discussion the previous night about how to answer such a question since they aren't officially married. They agree on May 25th, the day they bonded in the dungeon in 1733 of the creation calendar. Walter comments on how in less than 2 years of marriage, their child is already over 1 year old, noting the unusually fast progress compared to ordinary families. Walter then asks if they have discovered any shortcomings or bad habits in their partner during marriage. Leon affirms while Rossweiss denies it, which Walter finds credible as a balanced response. Walter directs a question to Leon, asking why he feels that way. Leon explains that sometimes he feels invisible because his wife is so capable, managing everything from family affairs to childcare seamlessly. He wants to contribute more to the family and not rely solely on her. Rossweiss, embarrassed, praises Leon as handsome, responsible, and patient, which impresses one of the interviewers, who calls him a considerate husband. Another interviewer asks Rossweiss what she finds most attractive about Leon. Rossweiss responds that although her health has declined slightly since marriage, Leon is skilled at making medicine and treats her well. Leon internally wonders if she is praising or insulting him. Rossweiss crunches at Leon's hand, taking the opportunity to tell him not to overwork himself. The interviewers comment that they seem like a lovely couple. At the end of the interview, one among them announces an additional question for either party to answer truthfully. Rossweiss declines, stating she has no questions as she knows everything about Leon. Leon, however, unexpectedly asks Rossweiss if she likes the teddy bear he gave her. Surprised, Rossweiss wonders why he would ask something unrelated to the assessment. Still, she replies that she liked it very much, which makes Leon happy. Walter concludes the interview, stating the results will be sent to the Silver Dragon Temple in a few days, and thanking them for their cooperation. Days later, Noah's sister announces that the results have arrived. Leon opens the letter, revealing that Noah has passed the college's assessment and is invited to register and attend the entrance ceremony in 3 days. The family celebrates with Noah's sister praising Noah and their parents. Rossweiss thanks Leon, who proudly states that Noah's success is her own doing, and that she is truly their worthy daughter. Rossweiss proposes a celebratory meal and invites Leon to help, playfully noting that it will remind everyone he is very much part of the family. At Heath's college matriculation ceremony, the principal is on the podium congratulating the students for passing the assessment and welcoming the students to attend the entrance ceremony of St. Heath's College. While the students and the parents are patiently listening to it, the headmaster announces that there are many students with excellent academic performance among the new students. They believe that only harmonious families can cultivate such excellent students. They would like to take this opportunity to share some experience with everyone. He announces that he would like to invite Noah K. Melkwich, the top recommended student in this freshman class, and her family to the stage. Leon with his family is directed to the stage. Leon with Noah and Rossweiss boards down the stage, while Leon is nervous, wondering how this happened, as he was informed half an hour ago that Noah got the higher score in the entrance test and his wife got the first place in the family assessment. So, although they are pleased to go onto the stage to speak as representatives of the freshmen and the family, Leon is frowning that there is no way this happened suddenly, and he can only pray that all goes well and he can only bite the bullet and do it. While the headmaster tells Noah that she is the youngest candidate but got the highest score, questioning her thoughts and feelings and to question what she wants to share with them, Noah states that her mother is a very powerful dragon. When she grow up, she wants to be as powerful as her. When she proposed to go to the school, her mother gave her affirmation and support. Her sister Mien has always been by her side, and she is very grateful to her. While Leon is wondering whether she would mention him or not, Noah takes a pause to state that finally, the one she wants to thank the most is her father. He helped her review for the exam every day and often stayed up late at night to prepare materials. Thanking him him that she can stand here because of him, making Leon emotional. Noah thanks her father and bows ahead. While the headmaster states that it seems that Leon is very good at teaching children, he questions why don't he give a kiss to her to show his father love, shocking Leon. Leon curses internally, wondering what the principal is saying. He doesn't want the entire ceremony to turn into a scene of patricide. A month ago, Noah wouldn't even let him touch her, so how could she let him kiss her in public? Leon tries to convince Noah, whispering not to be embarrassed and they can just hug each other. Noah, quite embarrassed, asks Leon to hurry up and finish the kiss. Leon is shocked to hear this, but now that she has said so, Leon kisses Noah on her forehead to create a mesmerizing moment. Muen is eager and says she wants to join her sister too, but the maid barely holds her back, saying she can't go up now. Ross Weiss thinks that, fortunately, it wasn't her. The headmaster states to praise that excellent dragons will never forget to be grateful to their families. The way the Melkwich family gets along with each other makes them feel what a real family should be like. He surprisingly announces that since Leon kissed his daughter and as a model of a loving couple, how can he forget about his wife? Shocking Leon and Russweiss. While Leon curses the old dragon, wondering he is really getting ahead of himself, he thinks he should have killed him on the day of the assessment. Leon clenches his fist, thinking that this is the most important ceremony for Noah. He has been through so many battles, so he questions how he can be scared of such a small scene. This uprising hurts both Leon and Russweiss. Russweiss says it is up to Leon to protect the family and show Leon the way, similar to his actions in Leon's Family of Guardians episode. While Leon is quite nervous about it, he teasingly tells Russweiss that they must act like the happiest and most harmonious family, making Russweiss quite nervous and embarrassed. Russweiss questions whether he really wants to kiss her in front of hundreds of dragons. Leon firmly states there is no choice, as Noah and Muen are watching and they have to cooperate with him. Leon quietly apologizes to Russweiss as he gets close to her. Russweiss thinks that although they have slept together and held hands, they have never kissed except 2 years ago, and questions how come he is so calm, as if she is the only one who is nervous. She is trembling with embarrassment as Leon gets closer to her. As they are about to kiss, Russweiss branches off in embarrassment, shrugging her mind, as she would do it. But to her surprise, Leon kisses her on the cheek. Embarrassed about the moment, Leon goes down, announcing that this is his limit. Parents chant out for a warm-up kiss. Leon quietly asks Russweiss if she is comfortable and relieved, making her angry. Russweiss grits her teeth, thinking that this guy actually used her to relieve stress, and if it wasn't in front of so many people, she would have pinned him down to the ground. While the headmaster thanks the family for being a model family this year, who brought them laughter and joy, he invites them to rest. After the ceremony, Russweiss tells them they are ready to go and they will pick Noah up next weekend. She asks Noah to take care of herself, to which Noah affirms that she will. Moon hugs Noah, saying she will miss her, to which Noah states she will miss her as well. Leon asks Noah to remember to eat on time, not be picky about food, study hard, and if she doesn't understand something, she can ask him when she comes home during the holidays. Most importantly, if she is sick, she must go to the school doctor and not be stubborn. Noah assures Leon that she knows all about it and is not a kid. Leon states that these orders were set by her mother when she was drunk, as she was embarrassed to tell her in person, so he is doing it for her. Leon states that if she meets classmates with bad personalities, she should stay away from them. But if they dare to bully her, she just has to fight back, as her father will support her. Noah asks if he ever did anything like this when he was in school. Leon shows that he has, but every time he got into a fight at school, his teacher and her grandfather would take him home and beat him up. Leon asks Noah not to worry, as his words won't get her punished for just such a small matter, to which Noah affirms she will remember it. At the Silver Dragon Temple, in the Queen's study room, Russweiss thinks to herself that the blood curse is a forbidden magic that can only be used once in a lifetime. It uses blood as the medium and the caster's life as the exchange price for it. She smiles and mentions that with some improvements, it might become an interesting way to play. As she speaks, a shadow enters the room. As the maid is introduced, Shirley, a trusted maid of the Silver Dragon tribe. Russweiss questions why the investigation was delayed, to which Shirley apologizes and explains that there was no trace of Tiger Lawrence or his wife in the Empire. As they discuss their disappearance, Russweiss is confused by what Shirley means by missing. Shirley explains that the information was meticulously erased, leaving her subordinates unable to track their whereabouts. Rosweiss reflects that according to Leon, his master was just an ordinary old man, but now it seems he is far from simple. She instructs Shirley to ensure their safety is not compromised and to continue the investigation, asking to be notified immediately if there is any news. Shirley complies with the order and departs. The scene shifts to Leon, who is training with his daughter. He teaches her to chop a stick down hard, demonstrating the proper stance. Noah, observing him, feels both delighted and surprised. She playfully tries to do it, but seeing her oneling strikes confuses out Leon. As they continue their practice, Rosweiss and her maid arrive, and Noah excitedly runs to greet her mother. Leon teases Rosweiss, asking if the patrol has returned. Rosweiss hugs Noah and asks if she listened to her father at home today. Noah enthusiastically replies that she is happy because her dad also taught her how to hold a sword. Rosweiss comments that it's not bad and mentions they will have dinner soon, adding that she asks the chef to prepare steak. She then asks Noah to go change her clothes. Hearing the mention of steak, Noah becomes even more excited, declaring her love for it. She leaves with the maid, giving Rosweiss and Leon a moment alone. As Rosweiss turns Leon, he suddenly points a branch at her, attempting to startle her. Rosweiss questions if he is seriously determined to attack her in the Silver Dragon Temple, reminding him that pointing a weapon at her is a crime of treason punishable by death. He even asks her if she would refuse to Leon weapons at her. Leon becomes extremely angry at her, and the crime of treason punishable by death. Leon responds that it's just a branch, and asks if the queen truly sees it as a weapon. Rosweiss counters, teasingly asking if the branch isn't a deadly weapon in the hands of the strongest dragon slayer. Leon sighs and asks if she isn't the strongest dragon herself. He teases her further, calling her mother dragon, and suggests that if she wants to praise someone, she should just do it nicely instead of being so strange. Rosweiss shrugs it off, denying that she praised him in the first place. Leon dismisses the matter, stating that he wanted to scare her, but it would be pointless if she wasn't afraid. Rosweiss replies that she doesn't think a small branch could hurt her with his current strength. She shares that Noah wrote to her yesterday, saying she was doing fine and asked them not to worry. Leon, surprised to hear about the letter being so short, asks for more details. Rosweiss explains that it was rare for Noah to take the initiative to write back, but she wanted them to know she was safe. Leon agrees, noting that Noah is very similar to Rosweiss in this regard. Leon observes that Noah always has a stern expression, making it hard for people to guess what she's thinking. However, once someone finds the right approach, she is pleasant to get along with. Rosweiss adds that Noah admires Leon greatly, having a typical dragon mentality that longs for strength. She mentions that Noah sees him as a top student and that she has won many first places at the academy, determined not to lose to him. Leon smiles, admitting he thought Noah saw him as just a weak nerd. Rosweiss recalls that when Leon first woke up, Noah often hid from him, but she frequently visited him during his coma, making excuses to check on Noah instead. Leon notes that Noah is as stubborn as he is. Rosweiss reminisces that when they were little, they would cry and no one would comfort them, but placing them next to Leon would immediately calm them down. She muses that perhaps before he realized it, their blood ties had already connected them. Leon, reflecting on the idea of blood relationships, admits it feels strange. As an orphan, he never experienced parental love as a child and didn't understand the concept of family. He recalls feeling lonely until his master and his wife adopted him when he was 5. Though they weren't related by blood, they treated him like their own son, giving him his first sense of home. Leon remembers feeling a sense of loss when he saw other children with their parents. As a child, he used to wish his master and his wife were his real parents. His master's wife once told him that he would become someone else's father in the future. When he asked if that meant he would become their father, she confirmed, saying that family members are the ones he wants to love, protect, and give everything for. Leon clenches his fist, determined that they are now his most precious family members. Rosweiss interrupts his thoughts, asking why he's daydreaming and suggesting they head back. Leon nervously brushes it off, thanking her for sharing her thoughts and agreeing to return. As they prepare to leave, Rosweiss slips her foot out of her shoe. Leon, puzzled, asks what she's doing. Rosweiss smirks and says that since he wants to thank her, he can help her put on her shoe. Leon, baffled, maintains a poker as he questions what she meant with a dazed face. Rosweisa asks Leon that since he wants to thank her, he must help her put on her shoes. This shocks Leon, and he questions what she means by wanting help to put on shoes, wondering how that is even possible. He scolds Rosweisa, saying that last time it was washing her feet, and now she wants him to put on her shoes. He questions if he has any dignity left, but to his surprise, Rosweisa pokes her foot in Leon's face, stating that she hasn't even settled the score with him for kissing her at the entrance ceremony, and now he can't even help her put on her shoes. She threatens him to stop talking and just do it. Leon reluctantly abides and puts the shoes on her. Rosweisa observes that although he seemed reluctant, his actions were surprisingly quick. Leon taunts that putting shoes on her is much easier than shoeing a donkey, making Rosweisa furious. She tries to kick him, but Leon evades her attack. As he barely avoids the kick, he runs off, mocking Rosweisa by saying that as long as he can run fast, she won't be able to catch him. Rosweisa, clenching her teeth in frustration, mutters angrily that there's no point in running so fast because he'll be in trouble tonight. A few days later, Rosweisa, Leon, and Wen are waiting outside when Wen calls out for his sister. A colossal dragon flies above them, casting a massive shadow. Wen is thrilled to see the dragon and excitedly remarks that it is several times bigger than his sister when she transforms. Rosweisa explains that it's the dragon of Leviathan, a giant dragon with superior endurance and steady emotions. She adds that despite its size, it's not very powerful. Instead, it usually serves as a transporter within the dragon clan. Leon, curious, asks if the Leviathan is truly emotionally stable. Rosweisa explains that it is said a Leviathan will not lose its temper even once in thousands of years, from birth to death. That's why the Academy uses them to pick up and drop off dragons. As the Noah descends, Noah greets her mother, saying she's back. Muen runs to hug her, while Rosweisa warmly welcomes her home. Noah stutters as he tries to call Leon by father, but Leon notes that Noah isn't used to calling her that yet. As they head home, Leon mentions that he and Rosweisa have made a lot of Noah's favorite dishes. At home, Noah eagerly shows her report cards from various subjects, including mechanical basics, magic introduction, and the flower volume of the history of clans. She proudly announces that she got first place in all of the subjects. Rosweisa is delighted and praises her, but Noah pouts as she reveals there's one last subject left. She got 95 points in the physical fitness test and apologizes for not securing first place. Rosweisa reassures her not to apologize, saying it's still an impressive score. Muen agrees, stating that their mother is right, and in her heart, Noah is the best. Leon observes that one of them struggles to express emotions, while the other expresses them a bit too much. He thinks to himself that it's up to him, the old father, to balance things out. Leon reads aloud from Noah's report, noting that running, bench presses, and pull-ups are basic physical training. He explains that the other students at her level are all 4 or 5-year-old young dragons, so it's normal for her physical fitness to be slightly behind theirs. However, he points out that she has won 9 out of 10 sparring matches, the highest win rate in her class. This proves that although she's not as strong as the others, her strategy and fighting skills are far superior. He encourages her not to worry too much about third place, assuring her there will be plenty of opportunities to surpass her peers in the future. Noah then mentions that she heard from her mother that Leon was first in every subject when he was in school. Leon chuckles and clarifies that when he first entered school, he wasn't the top student. It was only through hard work and perseverance that he climbed to first place. He advises Noah to stay determined, reminding her that she still has plenty of time to improve. Noah nods, taking his words to heart. Mune asks if their dad is so powerful, who would win in a fight between him and their mother? Both Rosweisa and Leon immediately answer in unison, claiming they would win. This sparks an argument between them. Leon laughs and brags that during his time as actual combat training, no one could beat him, whether it was in hand-to-hand combat, weapon combat, or magic duels. Rosweisa counters by saying that while she may not have won as many honors at the Academy, she always wins the key matches. Their argument escalates as Rosweisa teases Leon, reminding him that he married her because he could never beat her. Leon retorts that it's because she failed to beat him that they ended up with 2 lovely daughters, Noah and Muen. As the tension rises, Rosweisa and Leon decide to settle the matter with a fight. They both run outside, eager to prove themselves. Noah and Muen excitedly follow, thrilled to witness the showdown. In the ground, Rosweisa and Leon stretch and prepare for the fight. Muen asks Noah that she looks pretty curious as well, to question who she thinks will win. Noah replies that her teacher once said watching masters fight can help improve fighting skills, so she's looking forward to learning from the match. Osweiss smirks and remarks that Leon's body probably hasn't fully recovered yet to fight the Dragon King. Leon shrugs and replies that it doesn't matter. Opportunities to fight the Silver Dragon Queen are rare, and he won't miss this chance. Osweiss suggests they place a bet. If Leon wins, she won't bother him for a whole month, but if she wins, he has to fulfill one of her requests. Leon hesitates, unsure of what kind of demand Osweiss might make. But the thought of a peaceful month is too tempting to resist. He agrees to the bet. Osweiss grins and declares it's time to start the fight. As the battle is about to unfold on the ground, with the wind bustling in the steady postures of Leon and Osweiss, while Noah and Muen eagerly watching from the bench, suddenly a can of juice tumbles to the ground, capturing the attention of both Leon and Osweiss. Muen cries out in dismay that her pineapple juice has been spilled, while Noah calmly informs her that the fight has begun. Both Osweiss and Leon charge toward each other. Leon leaps at Osweiss to land a punch, but she skillfully blocks it with her arms. She swings her tail to whip through Leon, but he narrowly deflects it as he flips out and takes a step back. He twists his arm, channeling his aura, and swings a kick at Osweiss, who barely manages to block it but is sent stumbling back. Osweiss thinks to herself that she doesn't have the advantage in physical skills compared to him, and decides it's best to maintain some distance. The supporting characters in this comic tell a lot of stories about the relationship between people. Leon teases her, remarking that it seems Her Majesty the Queen doesn't want to engage in close combat with him. Osweiss, unfazed, uses her powers to launch a barrage of mysterious fireballs toward Leon, responding that as long as she can defeat him, that's all that matters. She hurls a series of fireballs at him. Leon sprints, dodging the attacks with agility. Muen, watching in concern, asks if their dad is going to lose since he keeps running away. Noah reassures her, explaining that it's not necessarily the case. Their dad is using his physical prowess to attack and evade his mother's fiery onslaught, while Mother is relying on her dragon flame to maneuver and create openings for an attack. Noah notes that this shows their mother doesn't feel confident in defeating him in close combat. Muen, impressed, praises her sister for her knowledge, to which Noah responds that it's what their teacher taught them in class. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Osweiss launches another attack on Leon, teasing him that he's incredibly fast and perhaps he's just hiding and trying to survive. Leon, still evading the relentless blasts, grins and states that he's not only fast but also incredibly tough. He spins around just as a blast erupts, but he surges through the smoke. He taunts, saying that Osweiss is too slow. Leon dashes toward Osweiss, determined to close the gap, shouting that he'll take away his 1-month vacation as he unleashes a flurry of punches that corner her. Taken aback, Osweiss thinks that Leon's magic power hasn't fully recovered, but the way he's using lightning magic to enhance his body to this extent is simply absurd. Leon smirks, acknowledging that she's cornered, and lands a powerful kick aimed at Osweiss's hurl to unbalance her before she falls. Leon leaps toward her to deliver a punch, but instead grabs her hand to pull her out of danger, preventing her from falling. The unexpected move results in Osweiss landing in Leon's embrace. Embarrassed, Osweiss's face flushes bright red as she is caught off guard by their close proximity. She instinctively places her hand on Leon's chest, flaring up a surge of mysterious energy. Leon steps back, shouting that it's burning out, but oddly it doesn't feel as hot as expected. Osweiss, ever stern, informs him that the battle isn't over yet, and questions how he can be so distracted. Meanwhile, Noah and Muen approach, asking who won in the end. Leon admits that he was careless and lost this time. Osweiss, conceding with a nod, admits that he is indeed incredibly strong. Without the aid of enchanted armor or weapons, he managed to hold his ground against her. She admits that with just his physical skills, no one has ever been able to challenge her like this before. Leon, flexing confidently, declares that if he fought with all his strength, he would undoubtedly win. In response, Osweiss smirks and reminds him not to forget about their bet, which inadvertently stabs at Leon, as he completely forgot about it. Leon collapses to the ground, his soul seemingly leaving his body, making Mien and Noah speculate if their dad is dead. But Osweiss reassures them, saying it's fine as he just overexerted himself and collapsed. He'll recover soon enough. That night, in the Silver Dragon Temple's children's room, Leon tells his daughters that after he leaves, Noah must take good care of Muen. Since Muen is still young and unaware as her elder sister, Noah has to look after her even more. He also tells Muen that she must listen to her sister and not make her too upset. Muen and Noah calmly listen to Leon's instructions. He sighs deeply on the verge of tears, saying that what worries him most about this departure is his 2 daughters, who are only a little over 1 year old. He wonders how their mother could bear to take him away. delay. Noah pouts, complaining that he's just staying at their mother's house for one night, so why is he acting like it's such a big deal? Leon trembles slightly, stating that, in a sense, being at their mother's mercy for an entire night is far more daunting than anything else. Muan interrupts, saying she knows what her mother wants to do. She excitedly states that she wants to eat Daddy, adding that she read in a book that after a female mantis and a male mantis get married, the female eats the male. Leon replies that while that might not be exactly what's happening, Daddy is still about to be consumed in some way. He then questions why Muan looks so happy about it. At that moment, Ross Weiss, having overheard their conversation, glares at Leon and tells him to stop filling their daughters' heads with nonsense, as if she's some kind of monster. She covers the girls with a blanket, assuring them that they should go to bed early and not worry. She insists that she only wants to discuss some important matters with their father, making Leon flinch slightly. Hearing this, Leon mutters under his breath, questioning what kind of important matters she could mean. Ross Weiss grumbles that it's probably about the mysteries of the universe. Leon mutters, asking if it's about the origins of life, to which Ross Weiss replies that it's about the deeper secrets of the world. Leon grits his teeth, mumbling, if it's about the intricacies of the human body. Ross Weiss sighs, grabs Leon's arm, and gently pulls him out of the room, stating that she's had enough of his rambling. She tells him to hurry up and follow her. Leon hesitates, saying that he still has some final words for his daughters. He turns to them and tells them to remember that he will always love them. As they leave, Muan frowns and asks her sister what Mom and Dad are going to do. Noah shrugs and replies that she doesn't know, adding that they should let them figure it out on their own, calling them silly adults. At the Silver Dragon Temple in the Queen's bedroom, Ross Weiss sips from a glass of wine while watching Leon's growing unease. She smirks and asks if he isn't going to join her. Leon abruptly shakes his head, refusing. Ross Weiss pauses for a moment, then states that she remembers he once promised her that he would fulfill her request if he lost to her. But now, not only does he refuse to drink, but he also seems reluctant. Leon replies that he doesn't feel like drinking. He thinks to himself that he needs to keep his composure. He won't let her dictate the night. But Ross Weiss interrupts his thoughts, stating that actually, she had hoped he would win. Leon narrows his eyes as he questions why. Ross Weiss chuckles, answering that if he had won, she would have had to give him a month off. Then he could use that time to recover and things would be much more enjoyable. She teases him with a sly smile. Leon huffs, questioning why she didn't just let him win today. Ross Weiss shakes her head, saying that she thought of a more interesting way to spend the evening. Without breaking eye contact, she slowly pours the dream wine onto her chest. Leon stiffens, his mind momentarily blank as he watches the red liquid trickle down her skin. Ross Weiss tilts her head, smirking as she says that what she likes most is the way he refuses to give in, even after losing to her. Leon, unable to look away, swallows hard. He thinks to himself, what is happening right now? He questions Ross Weiss, asking what she's trying to do. Ross Weiss steps closer, ordering Leon to drink it. Leon struggles, trying to resist, but his thoughts are in disarray. He realizes that the mix of Ross Weiss's natural scent and the sweet aroma of the red wine is overwhelming. The scene before him is so captivating that he finds it impossible to refuse. He leans in, pressing his face against her skin, drinking from the trail of wine. Ross Weiss gasps slightly, her cheeks turning red. After a moment, Leon pulls away, his face equally flushed, asking if that's enough. Ross Weiss chuckles, denying it as she states that it's nowhere near sufficient. She lifts her hand and gently bites her lip, drawing a small drop of blood. She orders him to open his mouth. Leon hesitates, but before he can react, he leans forward, letting her drip onto his tongue. His eyes widen in surprise. The moment the taste spreads in his mouth, he instinctively recoils, trying to shake Ross Weiss off. He asks what she's trying to do, questioning if she just used a forbidden technique on him. Ross Weiss licks the remaining blood from her lips, confirming it. She states that it's the blood curse, adding that he should be quite familiar with it. Leon's pupils dilate as a strange, warm sensation floods his body. His mind starts spinning and an unnatural heat spreads through his veins. Ross Weiss leans in, stating that ever since he used this forbidden technique on her 2 years ago, she has been longing for the feeling. Leon grits his teeth, questioning if she even knows the consequences of using this technique. Ross Weiss nods, explaining that of course she knows. She adds that she modified it just a little, minimizing its harmful effects on a dragon's body and only keeping its enchanting properties. Leon stumbles backward, trying to steady himself. His breath is ragged, his body hot, and his thoughts clouded. Ross Weiss watches him struggle and sighs, running a finger along his chest. She murmurs that he has always resisted her, and she had to coax him, challenge him, and yet he always acted like he had no choice. Leon barely hears her, his mind consumed by the intense heat coursing through him. Weiss leans in, her lips grazing his ear, whispering that she wants him to let go and embrace the moment. Leon gasps as his knees give out beneath him. Weiss giggles, watching him collapse onto the bed. She stands before him, announcing that the game has begun, her eyes glowing with satisfaction. Leon trembles as Weiss licks her lips and calls him her captive, her voice filled with playful affection. As Leon huffs from the curse, Weiss smirks, her eyes shining with amusement as she mocks him, stating that he is almost losing control of himself. She tilts her head slightly, teasing him, asking if he even knows what he looks like right now. Leon furrows in pain, shaking his head in denial, but Weiss only chuckles. With a smug face, she summons a mirror, stating that it is a magic prop she bought in Sky City, one that can record images for a short period. She places it before him and, with a knowing smile, asks Leon to tell her, in front of the mirror, what he truly wants to do now. Leon stares at his own reflection, his eyes widening in shock as his own voice, betraying him, utters that he wants to kiss her. His heart pounds as he inwardly screams that it isn't true. His face heats up in embarrassment, yet Weiss, seeing his reaction, only presses further. She taunts him, with a mischievous grin as she urges him to say it again, but louder this time. Leon doesn't hesitate. He cries out once more that he wants to kiss Weiss. Leon's breath hitches. He clenches his fists, insisting in his mind that he obviously didn't mean to say that. Weiss takes a step closer, her smirk deepening as she watches him. She playfully remarks that he looks absolutely mortified, as if he has completely abandoned his dignity and is now shamelessly begging for a kiss from his sworn enemy. Leon quickly turns his face away, adamantly declaring that he won't kiss her. However, before he can even process what's happening, his body moves on its own. In the very next moment, he unconsciously jumps onto Weiss. Weiss smirks with a soft chuckle as she remarks that it's truly unlike him to be this impatient. Leon, leaning onto her hands, feels his mind growing hazy. His lips part slightly as he murmurs the words he can't suppress. He wants to kiss her, to hold her, to be one with her. Weiss's eyes flash with recognition. She remembers this feeling all too well. This is exactly how she acted when the blood curse took over her. She thinks to herself that Leon has finally reached this stage. She smiles faintly, knowing there's no turning back now. She tells Leon that he asked for this himself. She leans in as she declares that it's time to see his true self, to witness what he becomes once he completely falls. The night unfolds in a haze. By the time morning arrives, Leon groans, his body aching as he blinks awake. His head throbs as he clenches his fists, his mind clouded with the events of last night. A wave of frustration washes over him as he realizes that he fell for it again. He grits his teeth, cursing the blood curse for forcing him to throw away his pride, his dignity as a dragon slayer, and making him succumb to Weiss's control once more. The shame coils in his chest, heavier than before. Meanwhile, Weiss, the culprit behind it all, is sleeping soundly beside him. Her breathing is steady, her posture relaxed, as if she doesn't have a single care in the world. She looks completely defenseless. Leon unconsciously moves his hand toward her face, but quickly snaps back to reality, questioning what he is doing and why he touched her face subconsciously. He asks himself why he would even want to touch her. He only wanted to wake her up, nothing more. He convinces himself that he had absolutely no other intention, but then he pauses. He questions why she hasn't reacted, commenting if she wasn't pretending to be asleep. Leon looks at her, poking her head, and tells her to stop pretending. He shakes her gently, ordering her to wake up, before questioning her that she is usually self-disciplined, so why is she still asleep? He wonders if she is under the influence of the blood curse. The extent of the spell's impact depends on the caster's physical fitness. When he was on the verge of death, he caught the blood curse, and though he doesn't know how he survived, it left him in a coma for 2 years. Weiss, on the other hand, is a healthy dragon queen, so she will probably be unconscious for about a week. A smug smile spreads across Leon's face as he realizes this is the perfect opportunity for him to escape. A week might not be enough for an ordinary human to run far, but it's a different story if one is equipped with the black gold armor. Leon quickly gets dressed, gathers his belongings, and decides that when combined with stamina recovery potions and pills, running at full speed should be enough to get him back to the human realm. Leon grins, confident in his plan. By the time Rosweiss wakes up and realizes he is missing, it will already be too late. He laughs loudly, but as the thought settles in, reality hits him. It has been 2 years since he left the Empire. He has no idea what the situation is like over there now. Setting the potion back down, Leon frowns, thinking that there are still too many unanswered questions about his capture back then. It would be risky to return rashly. He decides that it's better to be cautious. Besides, he has already asked Rosweiss to investigate the Master's current situation. Maybe he should wait for her news. More importantly, he has to think about his daughters. As he glances over the window, seeing them play, Leon's thoughts soften as he reminds himself that he cannot abandon them now. A small smile creeps onto his face as he realizes the truth. Despite everything, he still has to stay in the Silver Dragon Castle. After all, he hasn't taken his revenge on Rosweiss yet. In the evening, as Noah and Mwen enter the room, they grow increasingly worried that their mother is not waking up. Mwen calls out to her mother, asking if she's okay since she has been asleep all night. Noah turns to Leon suspiciously, narrowing her eyes, before questioning him about what he did last night. Leon, feeling nervous under Noah's pressure, quickly tries to excuse himself, saying that they were simply chatting on the balcony. He hurriedly adds that the cold wind must have made her sick, trying to shift the blame onto the weather rather than raising any suspicions. Leon turns to Anna and asks that it is that much of a big deal, isn't it? He hopes for reassurance, to which Anna responds calmly, telling them not to worry. She explains that the temple physician has just examined Her Majesty's body and confirmed that aside from being slightly weak, everything else appears normal. She continues, stating that she will handle the clan's affairs in Her Majesty's stead for the time being. She asks if His Majesty has nothing else to address, she will take her leave and begin her work. Leon, seemingly relieved by her words, nods and tells her to proceed. After Anna exits the room, Mwen approaches Rosweiss, gently placing her hand on her mother as she pleads her mother to get better soon. She promised that she will never make her angry again. She looks at her mother's sleeping face with guilt in her eyes, regretting any moments when she might have upset her. Meanwhile, Leon observes Rosweiss's body, noticing that she is sweating quite a bit. He realizes he will have to wipe the sweat off her body later. As he thinks this, Noah, who has been silently watching him, frowns. Seeing Leon's expression, she feels something is off and voices her concern. She thinks that if he is planning something. She accuses her father if he is trying to do something to Mom while she's unconscious. Leon bends down slightly and responds that she is overthinking things, as he just wants to take good care of her. Noah studies him for a moment before sighing. She states that if that's really the case, then it's fine. She then calls Mwen, saying that they should go. They will come back and see Mom again tomorrow. Mwen, turning back towards Rosweiss, calls out her mother that she will come to see her again tomorrow. Then she and Noah bid their father goodbye before leaving the room. Now alone, Leon continues to gaze at Rosweiss's sleeping figure. After a brief pause, he starts pondering something to himself. He finally decides to get a basin of water and a cloth to wipe away her sweat. He recalls that he had applied medicine to her earlier, worrying that she might catch a cold. He then thinks to himself that when Rosweiss wakes up, she shouldn't misunderstand his intentions. As Leon looks at her, he notes that she usually flaunts her large, elegant tail, but right now, she is so weak that she can't even move it. He sighs before carefully wiping her body. Once he is done, he hesitates and wonders if he should also change her clothes. Looking around, he spots a cupboard filled with clothes. As he opens it, he is taken aback by the sheer number of outfits. He thinks to himself that since there are so many, it should be fine to pick something he likes. He begins rummaging through them, tossing them around as he searches for something suitable. Eventually, he selects a few outfits: off-shoulder dresses, boat-neck tops, and elegant gowns. But as he looks at them, he frowns, realizing he has a problem, as how should he deal with her ears? Suddenly, he has an idea. Maybe he could use Rosweiss's hair to shape something resembling ears. He proceeds with this thought, but as he finishes, he finds himself feeling oddly embarrassed. Before him, Rosweiss is now dressed in a bunny girl cosplay outfit. He hadn't expected it to suit her so well, and yet, here she was. Seeing her like this, he feels an unfamiliar heat rise within him. Just then, the dragon mark on his body suddenly activates, sending a jolt through him. Startled, Leon stares down at the glowing mark and mutters in disbelief, questioning, why did the dragon pattern suddenly light up? A memory flashes in his mind. Roswais had once explained that if one of the two people with the dragon seal has that kind of desire for the other, the dragon pattern would react. Realizing the implication, Leon's face turns red. He screams internally, trying to suppress the turmoil within him. He questions, how could he have such thoughts about Roswais while he is completely sober? He desperately convinces himself that it must be the revealing outfit's fault. In an attempt to calm down, he decides to recite the 3 honors and 3 shames of a dragon slayer in his mind. Pride in loyalty to the Empire. Pride in fighting on the battlefield. Pride in upholding justice. He takes a deep breath before recalling the shames. Repeating these lines over and over, he finally manages to clear his thoughts. However, as he reflects on what just happened, he sighs that something dangerous almost occurred. Yet, as he glances at Roswais' current appearance, he hesitates. He thinks that it would be a shame not to document this rare sight. A sly grin crosses his face as he suddenly remembers that Roswais owns a home camera. With newfound excitement, he rummages through her belongings until he finds it. He then begins taking photos from various angles, chuckling mischievously as he goes. Looking at the captured images, he mutters that even she have days like this. As he continues, he makes her to smile a little as to take a smiley picture of Roswais' face in one of the photos. Seeing this, he instinctively takes another picture, thinking to himself that this moment is truly priceless. He decides that he will make sure to preserve these historic photos properly. Suddenly, Roswais lets out a small noise. Heading this, Leon is scared to his pants as he screams if she is going to wake up so soon. His heartbeat quickens as he waits in silence. Seconds pass, but Roswais does not move again. Leon lets out a deep sigh of relief, realizing it was just a false alarm. Deciding not to take any more chances, he quickly changes into his normal pajamas. He decides that tomorrow, he will proceed with the next step of my revenge plan before finally calling it a night. In the night at the Dragon Temple, Muin comes running toward Noah, her face filled with panic. She calls for her sister. Noah turns to her, concerned, questioning what happened. Seeing her huffing, Noah asks her to calm down and speak slowly. Muen takes a deep breath before explaining that her Rubik's Cube broke and she wanted to ask Dad to fix it, but there's a problem, that she can't find him anywhere. Noah frowns as she feels suspicious. She suspects if he escaped while her mother was unconscious. She gently grabs Muen's hand, reassuring her not to worry, because she will go with her to find him. The two of them take off running, searching the area. As they go, Muen calls out for their dad, asking, "Where is he?" The scene shifts as Noah and Muen search for their father. They call out for him, questioning where he could be. Unable to find him in the bedroom, they decide to check other rooms as well. As they move from one room to another, Muen remarks that it doesn't seem like he's here. They continue searching, only to find that he isn't in any of the other rooms either. In desperation, Muen even looks into the trash bin. Seeing this absurd action, Noah mutters, questioning how it could be possible for their father to be in the trash can. Muen, however, insists that she can't find him anywhere and wonders if he might be lost. Noah firmly states that some people are kind, but sooner or later they leave, just like last time. Muen, confused, asks about last time, to which Noah responds that she guesses that man is gone. She has always felt that there was something different about their family. On the surface, it appears harmonious, but in reality, there are many false aspects. For as long as she can remember, that man had been sleeping in the room, and their mother told them that he was their father. One day, he finally woke up and immediately tried to run away, but their mother caught him without any explanation. Since then, he hasn't attempted to escape again, but Noah doesn't believe he actually wants to stay. Later, he started deliberately approaching them, trying to please them, teaching her things and acting like a good father. But she questions whether this is truly out of love for them or merely part of his plan to secretly find a chance to escape when they let their guard down. She shares that if there are hidden motives behind love, she would rather not have such impure love at all than become a tool for someone else's escape. She is convinced that he doesn't belong here and that, sooner or later, he will abandon them. Men with tears in her eyes cries out that their mother won't wake up and their father is gone. She desperately asks Noah what they are going to do in the future. Noah reassures her sister that she will protect her, and they embrace each other. Men sobs loudly as Noah firmly states that they should should prepare a farewell ceremony for that man. The scene shifts to the back hill of the Silver Dragon Temple, near the Plum Blossom Forest. As Leon strolls along the path, he admires the scenery, commenting that the servant wasn't lying. This place is indeed beautiful. He recalls how the maid had asked if he wanted to know where Her Majesty, the Queen, liked to go. Leon confirmed that he wanted to take a walk, and the maid offered to send someone to accompany him. However, Leon declined, stating that he could go alone, and just asked her to mark the location on a map for him. Now, standing in the serene surroundings, Leon notes that his range of movement has been restricted, and he only managed to come out now because the mother dragon is unconscious. He decides to take this opportunity to investigate the surrounding terrain, and plans to surprise her when she wakes up. Smirking, he admits to himself that pretending to investigate the places the mother dragon likes is just a cover. In reality, it's part of his revenge plan. His true intention is to take advantage of her weakness when she wakes up and humiliate her in the place she holds dear, just as she humiliated him in front of his hometown. He walks up to a massive tree, noting that it's thick enough for what he has in mind. As he examines the soil, he mutters that it isn't soft enough and that it would be nice to cover it with flower petals when the time comes. He then turns toward the castle, observing that from this vantage point, one can see the Silver Dragon Temple at the foot of the mountain. He notes down this location for his list: Northern Cliff, Golden Grassland, Quiet Mountain Stream, and Cherry Blossom Forest. Deciding that this spot should be included as well, he smugly states that everything is ready now. All he has to do is wait for Rosweiss to wake up. He eagerly anticipates the trouble that awaits the mother dragon. The scene shifts to the Silver Dragon Temple courtyard at night. As Leon strolls through, he notices a group of maids weeping near a blazing fire. Approaching them from behind, he questions what's going on and why the atmosphere is so lively. One of the sobbing maids cries out that the two princesses wanted to hold a funeral and asked them to prepare a bonfire, while Moon solemnly pays her condolences to their father, saying that she will offer him steak and hopes he will come back to see them. Noah, however, corrects her, stating that he has already left and that they need to let it go. Leon watches the scene unfold, initially assuming they are playing some sort of house game. He wonders if he should just go along with it for now. Walking forward, he gestures for the maids to step aside. The maids, shocked to see his excellency, hesitantly make way for him. Leon casually asks whose photo they are worshipping, joking that his grandfather taught him how to play the suona, and asking if they want him to play it for them. However, as he steps closer and gets a proper look at the table, he is surprised to see his own photo placed there. Smiling at first, he remarks that he looks pretty handsome in the picture, but as reality sinks in, he is suddenly thunderstruck. His expression turns to shock as he demands to know why his photo is on the table and why they are paying condolences to him. Seeing their father in front of them, Noah and Muen are quite surprised, pointing out that their dad has appeared. Leon, quiet with a gloomy face, tells his dear daughter that he was only out for a day, questioning whether it is too hasty to hold a funeral for him now. Muen gets teary. She, without a moment's hesitation, jumps toward Leon, crying out that their dad is back. She sobs, saying that she thought he didn't want her anymore. Leon gently pats her head, reassuring her that what nonsense is she talking about. He states, how could their dad not want them? Noah pouts and says that she and Muen searched for him at the temple several times but couldn't find him. She thought that he had left them. Leon laughs it off, questioning why he would ever leave. He explains that he just went for a walk in the back mountain today, making Noah realize that she had misunderstood the situation. Leon picks up Muen and turns to the maids, telling them that everything is fine now and asking everyone to go home. Muen excitedly asks if she can eat his tribute meal now that he is back. Leon chuckles and assures her of course she can. Muen dashes toward the tribute, exclaiming how great it is, making Leon think to himself that if she is definitely not like him because she is so greedy. Meanwhile, Noah calls out to Leon, reminding him that next time he goes out alone, he should at least inform them. She then pouts in embarrassment, admitting that Muen was very worried about him. Leon laughs it off and apologizes for making them worry. He realizes that Noah clearly cares for him but is too embarrassed to say it outright. Noah then lowers her head and admits that this entire situation is her fault for not trusting him. She bows and sincerely apologizes. Leon, quite surprised, thinks inwardly whether his entire farewell ceremony was due to her misunderstanding. He notes that no one would have known if she hadn't said anything. He realizes that special children will always take their share of responsibility for mistakes, even when they aren't entirely at fault. However, he acknowledges that this misunderstanding ultimately stems from his failure to provide Noah with a sense of security. He understands that Noah longs for affection and love, but won't take the initiative to seek it. Even if he promises her something now, she probably won't believe him easily. As her father, the best he can do is prove his love and presence through consistent actions. Leon sits down beside Noah, gently patting her head that it's okay. He warmly states that they should go have dinner together. He adds to tell Noah that she has school tomorrow after all. Internally, he promises himself that he will always be with her, ensuring she never has to feel abandoned again. The scene shifts to the queen's bedroom the next day. Nguyen is sitting beside Roswise as she slowly wakes up. Nguyen immediately calls out her mother that she is awake. Her eyes well up with tears as she exclaims that she was sleeping all the time and she was so worried about her. Roswise, still feeling weak, reaches out and gently wipes Nguyen's tears. She says that she is sorry for making her worry. She notices that her body lacks strength and her magic power isn't responding. Roswise thinks to herself that ordinarily with her Dragon King's body, she should have been able to withstand the side effects of the blood curse backlash. However, she suspects that her current condition is a result of using her power to save that man before. Thinking about Leon, she thinks that given his personality, she assumes he must have escaped by now. Forcing a smile, Roswise asks, how long have she been asleep? Nguyen answers immediately that it was for 2 days. Roswise thinks to herself that he couldn't have gotten far in 2 days, so she should still be able to send someone to capture him. Just as she contemplates her next move, Leon enters, holding a large fish. He asks Nguyen, how about having fish for dinner, stating that he just caught a big one in the back mountain. Roswise freezes in shock, while Nguyen lights up with excitement. Nguyen exclaims that he is so amazing. Leon grins, enjoying her admiration, saying that of course her dad is awesome. Seeing Roswise awake, he greets her, questioning that she is awake. Roswise, still trying to process the situation, questions why is he here. Leon smirks and shrugs to question where else would he be, as he just went to the back mountain to get some fresh air and catch a fish to nourish his dear wife's body. Roswise, suddenly flustered, turns away and mutters to question who's his dear wife. Nguyen giggles and teases Mom not to be shy. Leon kneels beside Nguyen and hands her the fish. He tells Nguyen that he have a very important mission for her. Questioning if she can deliver the fish to the kitchen, Nguyen salutes playfully, reassuring to leave it to her. With that, she grabs the fish and dashes out of the room. As she leaves, Leon calls after her that her mom and dad have some things to talk about, so they can eat dinner first. Nguyen waves without looking back. Once they are alone, Roswasa narrows her eyes at Leon. She tells Leon that she thought he would abandon his daughter and run away while she was unconscious. Leon chuckles, saying that there are still many things between them that they haven't settled yet, so why would he run away? Roswise, quite puzzled, questions what's going on between them. Leon's smile turns mischievous, questioning if she remembers what she did to him when he woke up more than a month ago. Roswise, caught off guard, blinks in confusion, asking what she did before. Suddenly, realization dawns on her and she gasps in shock, asking if he is thinking about that. Leon's smirk widens into an evil grin. He reveals it's exactly what she is thinking. As Roswise furiously warned Leon not to assume that he could do anything to her just because she was weak, she advised him not to act rashly. However, instead of being intimidated, Leon smirked at her, his expression filled with amusement. He smiled as he questioned whether he had not been the weak one at that time. He continued, pointing out that when he had first woken up, he had not even taken a sip of water before she had cast the dragon pattern on him and pushed him down. He sarcastically asked her whether she had ever given him a chance to refuse. Roswise's expression darkened as she warned him that he needed to understand what would happen once she fully recovered. There was a clear threat in her tone as she made it clear that he would regret his actions if he did not stop now. She did not hold back her words, making sure he understood the consequences. However, instead of backing down, Leon only taunted her further. Denying her warning, he addressed her as his dear wife in a mocking tone. Without hesitation, he picked her up, holding her firmly in his grasp. He then declared that this was the best decision he had ever made in his life. He added that this time the tables had turned. returned, she was now the prisoner of war. His words struck a nerve, but Rosweiss was in no position to argue against him. Later, in the cherry blossom forest located in the back hills, Rosweiss continued struggling against him, trying to push him away. She demanded that he leave her frustration growing with each passing second. However, Leon remained composed, merely warning her not to move. He cautioned that if she struggled too much, she would fall. Grinding her teeth in frustration, Rosweiss could not help but think about her current situation. If only she had regained her strength, she would have beaten him long ago. Upon reaching the cherry blossom tree, Rosweiss turned to Leon with a sharp glare and questioned why he had brought her there. Without hesitation, Leon explained that while she had been unconscious, he had taken the time to carefully investigate the places she frequently visited. He stated that this was her first stop for the night. Rosweiss let out a frustrated groan, not pleased with his response. She demanded to know what he meant by first stop, asking if he intended to take her somewhere else as well. Without directly answering, Leon pointed toward a specific location in the distance. He explained that it was her temple, and that from this vantage point she had a complete view of it. His voice carried a deeper meaning, making it clear that there was more to this moment than simply sightseeing. Rosweiss narrowed her eyes, immediately suspecting his true intentions. Without hesitation, she asked if he wanted revenge for his hometown. Activating his dragon pattern, Leon met her gaze and affirmed her suspicion. He stated that treating others in their own way was not a privilege exclusive to her dragon clan. Rosweiss suddenly felt a strange sensation as her dragon mark resonated. Her body weakened and she realized that her energy was draining rapidly. The feeling was unsettling and she struggled to maintain her composure. Meanwhile, Leon continued speaking, stating that although he was a human, he possessed a strong sense of revenge and ritual. He urged her to look ahead carefully, instructing her to take in the sight of her palace. He reminded her that all her pride and dignity originated from that place. However, now she found herself in a position where she could do nothing but allow him to manipulate her. Without warning, Leon pushed Rosweiss down, causing her to lose her balance. He then asked how it felt to be humiliated by a defeated dragon slayer. His voice was laced with mockery as he leaned closer, licking her back in a taunting manner. The action made Rosweiss huff in embarrassment, and she instinctively tried to resist. However, her body reacted involuntarily, making it difficult for her to fight back. A sudden idea crossed her mind, and she quickly coiled her tail around Leon's arm, attempting to catch him off guard. Leon was momentarily surprised, realizing that she still had enough strength to fight back. However, his amusement remained as he observed her reaction. Rosweiss gritted her teeth and warned him that while he was in control now, he should enjoy it while it lasted. She made it clear that once she had the opportunity, she would take even more brutal revenge on him. However, Leon simply laughed in response, dismissing her words. He told her not to speak to him about the future, as he always lived in the present, as he stated that the night was still long and that the carnival of revenge had only just begun. The scene shifted to the next morning in the Silver Dragon Queen's bedroom. Leon laid Rosweiss down gently before lying beside her with a sigh of relief. He thought to himself that he had finally returned. Exhausted from tossing her around different places all night, he reflected on the events that had transpired. He observed how soundly she slept and mused that it seemed she had been quite satisfied with the evening. However, the thought made him flinch, thinking that hadn't he come here for revenge? He groaned, shaking his head, trying to push away any conflicting thoughts. He reminded himself that she had fully experienced the humiliation of being pinned down by the dragon slayer she despised the most. With that in mind, he reassured himself that his revenge had been successfully carried out. Determined to leave before the maids awoke, Leon decided to return to his room. He acknowledged that their relationship was not one where they could sleep in the same bed until dawn. However, just as he was about to move, Rosweiss unconsciously reached out and held on to him, taking him by surprise. Trying to clear his thoughts, Leon reasoned that when people slept, they instinctively sought warmth. He reminded himself that this was simply a natural instinct of all living beings, and that he should not let it affect him. However, as he lay beside her holding her hand, he found himself thinking that it was much warmer there than returning to his cold bed in the other room. A small smile formed on his lips as he decided to stay where he was, at least for a little while longer. The next morning, as birds chirped outside, Muan entered the room, attempting to wake her mother. She questioned if her mother was still asleep, jumping toward her in an effort to wake her. Urging her to get up, she pointed out that the sun was already shining. Still drowsy, Rosweiss, half asleep, asked Muan to go and play with her father instead. Complying, Muan moved towards her father, shaking him in an attempt to wake him. She stated that the sun was shining on his back. Leon, still immersed in sleep, responded drowsily, commenting on the warmth and requesting to be allowed to rest a little longer. Observing them, Muan frowned, voicing her frustration. She pointed out that the two of them were hugging each other so tightly that she had no idea with whom she could play. As she pondered, she realized it was the first time she had seen her parents being so affectionate. However, something appeared strange to her. She questioned why there were so many red spots scattered across their bodies. An idea struck her. It had to be bug bites. Rushing to the desk, she rummaged through it, recalling how her mother had taught her about different kinds of bites. She reasoned that if someone had been bitten by an insect, there was always a cream available for treatment. As she searched, she came across a jar labeled 10000 Dragon Cream. Cheering triumphantly, she assured herself that there was no need to worry. Since her sister was away, she would be the one to take good care of them. With enthusiasm, she applied the ointment on both Rosweiss and her father, doing so quite cheerfully. After some time, Rosweiss finally called out to wake up her husband. As Leon stirred, he immediately sensed something odd. Questioning the strange sensation on her face, he noticed that their entire body was covered in unusual markings. Dazed, he turned to look at Rosweiss's face and, upon seeing her condition, burst into laughter. Rosweiss, puzzled by his reaction, questioned what was wrong with him. At that moment, Muan excitedly admitted that she was the one responsible. She explained that after seeing the numerous red marks on both of them, she had assumed they had been bitten by bugs, prompting her to apply medicine. Both Rosweiss and her husband were left speechless, feeling a mix of embarrassment and disbelief. He reflected on the situation, concluding that some things were indeed better left unknown. However, Muan remained cheerful, proudly claiming that she had done an excellent job. Her father, playing along, praised her efforts, agreeing that she had done well. Muan, feeling even more confident, promised that next time she would help apply the medicine again. At that realization, both Rosweiss and her husband shared a glance, silently vowing to ensure the door remained locked in the future. Sometime later, as Rosweiss was resting, Leon attempted to feed her. Startled, she pulled away, questioning his intentions. However, he simply pushed the spoon into her mouth, explaining that since she had not eaten for several days, she needed to regain her strength. Reminding her that dragons could go without food or water during their dormant state, he insisted that she must be hungry. Rosweiss, reluctant, argued that she was fully capable of eating on her own. However, after tasting the food, she hesitantly admitted that it wasn't bad. Observing her reaction, Leon smiled, taking a bite himself. He proudly stated that it was fried rice made with love. Rosweiss, confused, pointed out that the meal had been made for her, questioning why he was eating it as well. In response, he reached for the bowl, claiming that he was merely assisting her since he doubted she could finish it all. His words, however, sparked irritation in Rosweiss, who immediately challenged his assumption. With determination, she declared that she would finish the entire portion and that he would not get another bite. After consuming the entire bowl, Leon found himself reflecting on recent events. He had been taking care of her, helping her bath, cooking for her, and even feeding her. Though she recognized his efforts, she still couldn't help but feel conflicted. Sarcastically, she questioned whether he had done all of it just to torment her. In response, he feigned innocence, asking how any of his actions could be considered torture. Instead, he insisted that it was all loving care from a devoted husband. His words, however, only fueled her frustration. As he exited the room, laughing, he called out, reminding her to see him in the morning. Rosweiss, clenching her fists, cursed under her breath. She muttered that he truly lived up to his reputation as a damned dragon slayer, always finding ways to irritate her. In frustration, she slammed her fist down beside the bed with all her strength. However, as her hand collided with the surface, an unexpected force surged through her body. Startled, she noticed something strange. As she examined her surroundings, realization dawned upon her. Her strength had returned. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, her husband hummed to himself, feeling content. He delighted in the fact that Mother Dragon had yet to recover fully. With a mischievous grin, he mused that he still wanted to play around with her for a few more days. However, at that moment, he remained blissfully unaware of the seriousness of the situation that was about to unfold. In the castle, as Anna entered Ross Weiss's room, she called out for Her Majesty, stating that the liquid medicine prescribed by the doctor would help her regain strength. As she placed it down, Ross Weiss responded that her body had already recovered, so drinking it was unnecessary. Anna attempted to convince Ross Weiss otherwise, but her attention shifted to the broken wall. Noticing this, Ross Weiss explained that she had failed to control her strength earlier and planned to have someone fix it the next day. Anna acknowledged this with a nod and turned to leave, but before she could step out, Ross Weiss called for her again. With a slightly embarrassed expression, Ross Weiss hesitated before asking Anna not to inform Leon that she was still recovering. While hiding her face behind a book, she admitted that she wanted him to take care of her for a little while longer. Anna, surprised by the request, giggled before assuring Rosweisa that she understood. Meanwhile, Rosweisa smirked smugly, stating that Leon's peaceful days would be over. 2 days later, in the garden, Mwen eagerly called out to her father, expressing her desire to learn the sparkly technique that made his body shine. Leon, slightly puzzled, asked if she was referring to the sparkly effect, questioning whether she meant magic. Mwen, with an enthusiastic expression, confirmed, explaining that it was the same ability he and her mother had demonstrated at the training ground. Leon, curious about her sudden interest, inquired why she had developed an interest in magic. Mwen explained that her sister had been learning many things at school, and she didn't want to be left behind. Leon acknowledged her determination and asked if there was something specific she wanted to learn, to which Mwen firmly affirmed. He then remarked that having 2 children at home created a natural competition between them, which could be beneficial. He noted that Mwen admired her sister a lot and naturally didn't want to feel distant from her. With a warm smile, Leon reassured Mwen that her father would definitely teach her magic and that they would start with basic magic guidance. Mwen, overjoyed, eagerly thanked her father. Later, as Mion diligently practiced her magic, Leon observed her progress and realized that in just a few hours, Mion had successfully guided magical energy through her body. He speculated that she might soon reach magic enlightenment and begin working with original magical power. Watching her closely, he wondered if she might be a genius. Suddenly, Mion's stomach growled, interrupting their session. Sensing her hunger, Mwen, with an innocent expression, admitted that she was starving and had no strength left. Leon sighed quietly, realizing that they couldn't rush the training. He patted Mwen's head, stating that the session was over for the day and that they should return home to eat. Mwen, delighted by his words, cheered, declaring that her father was the best. That night, as Anna entered a room, she presented an item to Her Majesty, stating that it was what she had requested. Rosweiss accepted it, instructing Anna to set it aside. Meanwhile, Leon entered enthusiastically, greeting his wife with excitement. Rosweisa thanked Anna for her hard work and told her she could leave. Leon recalled that, according to Anna's earlier statement, Rosweis would need 5 days to fully recover. With a mischievous glint in his eyes, he thought to himself that he still had time to torture her. Acting playfully, he wiggled his fingers and smirked, teasingly offering Rosweis a massage if she felt any discomfort. Rosweis, with a taunting face, questioned why he didn't simply prove the might of the Empire's strongest dragon slayer tonight. She mockingly pointed out that only 2 days had passed, yet he already seemed exhausted, wondering if that was all he could manage. Annoyed by her remarks, Leon demanded clarification on what she had just said. Without hesitation, he grabbed Rosweis, commenting on how exhausted she looked and stating that he had intended to let her rest for the night. However, seeing her arrogance, he decided otherwise. Holding on to her, he remarked that since her words were so bold, her body must be just as tough. As he removed his upper garments, he warned her that she would regret her taunts. However, to his surprise, Rosweis smirked, confidently stating that she had never once regretted anything. In an instant, Rosweis wrapped her tail around Leon's body, catching him off guard. Leon let out a startled cry before finding himself slammed onto the bed, now completely vulnerable. As Rosweis climbed on top of him, Leon was left stunned by her overwhelming strength. Bewildered, he asked if she had already recovered. Roswise, with an amused tone, silenced him, calling him her dear dragon slayer in a teasing manner. She then retrieved the item that Anna had brought, a pair of handcuffs and a whip. Leon, now fully realizing the situation, became visibly nervous. He questioned when she had prepared such things, but before he could react, his wrists were bound and a blindfold was placed over his eyes. He muttered to himself, wondering if he had just walked straight into a trap. Roswise, with a mischievous smile, warned him not to even think about struggling. Leon, still in disbelief, questioned whether she was planning to torture him to extract a confession. As Leon called out for Roswise, addressing her as Mother Dragon to warn that he had received professional anti-interrogation training and would never yield to her, Roswise scoffs at his question and questioning if that was truly the case. In response, she activated an orb showing an event from Leon's past, one in which he had called out for Roswise, pleading with her and expressing his desire to kiss her. Upon seeing this, Leon could hardly believe it. He simply stared at the screen, questioning what he was witnessing as the voices played out. Roswise, unfazed, asked him to consider who the person was that had begged her so desperately. Overwhelmed by embarrassment, Leon struggled to process the situation. The strange noises coming from the recording were unmistakably his own, calling out for Roswise. Flustered, Leon attempted to refute it, pointing out that the voice could not possibly belong to a human and that it only sounded similar. However, Roswise dismissed his claims and brought the orb closer for him to witness more clearly. Leon was forced to hear his own embarrassing words, pleas for Roswise, expressing a desire to kiss her and to embrace her as one. Stunned, Leon was left speechless before Roswise, who taunted him by suggesting that he might recall it all now. Faced with undeniable evidence, he apologized, but Roswise was not ready to let it go. She took out a whip, instructing him to recite what he had just said a few times. She then warned him that if he could not remember clearly, she would review it for him again. Without hesitation, she whipped him repeatedly, quite furiously, throughout the entire night. The relentless punishment left Leon writhing in pain afterward, unable to move properly. As he lay there enduring the pain, he turned his face just in time to see a dragon entering the room, reporting to Roswise about a letter. Leon, still struggling from the ordeal, questioned whether the letter was from the Academy. He asked that the letter had arrived so late at night, prompting him to wonder what could have happened. Roswise explained that the Academy had summoned them for the next day, mentioning that Noah had gotten into a fight with someone else. This revelation startled Leon, who sat up in shock and demanded to know what she meant. The scene then shifted to the following day at the office of Vice Principal Wilson, where Noah was brought in alongside 3 students who were visibly injured. The vice principal addressed Leon and Roswise, stating that the reason for summoning them was to resolve a conflict that had arisen between Noah and some of his classmates. With a furious expression, Roswise questioned what he meant by that, her tone carrying both anger and an implicit threat. She then directed her gaze toward the 3 injured students and accused them of teaming up to bully her daughter. Her words immediately caused the 3 young dragons to recoil in fear. Meanwhile, Leon took a quick glance at Noah, checking for any signs of injury. However, Noah reassured him that she was fine. It was then that Principal Wilson revealed the truth. It was actually Noah who had beaten up the 3 students. This revelation left Roswise momentarily surprised, while the injured students cried out in frustration. Leon turned to Noah, stared at her before ultimately praising her, acknowledging that she was indeed his daughter. Principal Wilson, however, remained focused on the broader issue. While the fight itself had been a minor incident between young dragons, it also reflected an underlying conflict between cocoon-born and viviparous-born dragons. He knows the 2 distinct methods of dragon reproduction. Cocoon-born dragons directly inherited their mother's strength, giving them natural advantages in physical fitness and talent. Meanwhile, viviparous-born dragons required time to grow and learn before mastering their strength. As a result, within the same age group, cocoon-born dragonlets generally held superior physical strength compared to their viviparous dragonlets. Despite this difference, Noah, a viviparous-born dragon, had single-handedly defeated 3 cocoon-born dragons, all of whom were a few years older than her. Recognizing her exceptional abilities at such a young age, Principal Wilson remarked that she had a bright future ahead. Just as the discussion continued, the door burst open. A red dragon entered the room, scoffing as he declared that he had heard his his son had been involved in a fight, he dismissed the matter as trivial, stating that he was willing to cover the medical expenses. However, his nonchalant attitude quickly changed when he turned to his companions and saw their children injured. The red dragon then called out for his son, demanding an explanation for how he had been beaten so badly. The three injured students rushed toward their fathers, crying out pitifully. Meanwhile, Rosweiss whispered to Leon, identifying the red dragon as a member of the Red Flame Dragon King's faction Constantine's clan. She explained that everyone from the Red Flame Dragon clan was known for being arrogant and domineering, making it difficult to communicate with them. Leon, reflecting on past encounters, remarked that if all the Red Flame Dragons he had killed were lined up, they could circle the academy twice. The Red Flame Dragon parent, unfazed by the situation, directed his gaze toward Rosweiss and questioned who she thought she was. He scoffed at the notion of her being the queen of the Silver Dragon clan, expressing disbelief that a queen would fail to discipline her own child, allowing her to bully other dragons. His words carried a clear implication that the Silver Dragon clan was not as strong as the Red Flame Dragon clan, and that they only dared to instigate young dragons to pick fights with his son. Hearing this, Rosweiss' expression darkened. She glared at him and demanded that he repeat himself. However, the Red Flame Dragon showed no fear, going as far as to threaten that if Rosweiss and Leon did not apologize to his son that day, they would not be allowed to leave through the doors. At that moment, Leon smirked to remark that he was wondering who should be afraid of whom. His hands, he added, had been itching for a fight anyway. Just before the situation could escalate further, Vice Principal Wilson quickly intervened. He addressed the parents in a firm tone, asking them to remain patient and listen to his recounting of the events. Wilson proceeded to explain the events of the previous night. According to his account, in the cafeteria, Lal and two other classmates had an argument with Noah. During the altercation, Noah's plate had accidentally collided with Lal, staining his clothes. Later that night, on the way back to the dormitory, the three students had cornered Noah in the backyard and engaged in physical conflict. Upon hearing this, Wilson turned to the injured students and gave them a chance to add any details. However, intimidated by the situation, they hesitated and ultimately remained silent. Just then, Noah stepped forward. With a confident expression, she addressed the vice principal and stated that she had something to add. As Principal Wilson asks Noah if she has anything to add, she explains that first of all, it was Lal who deliberately provoked her in the cafeteria. The incident of knocking over the plate had been purely accidental. She further clarifies that the second incident occurred in the backyard of the dormitory, where she again got involved with them. Lal and his group had rushed toward her first, startling her, which led to her unintentionally breaking his arm in self-defense. Glaring at Lal, she demands confirmation of her version of events. Startled, Lal instinctively retreats behind his father, affirming the truth to her words. His father, noticing his reaction, questions why he appears so frightened of her. Leon intervenes, directing his words toward Noah. He remarks that, despite her justification, he believes she handled the situation incorrectly. As Noah glances at him, he continues advising that if she ever encounters a similar situation again, she should aim for the knee instead. Noah, confused, inquires about the reasoning behind such advice. With a full flex, Leon explains that on the battlefield, if a member of the Red Flame Dragon clan were injured in the knee, they would be easily subdued. As expected, she acknowledges the advice and assures him she will take it into account in the future. The Red Flame Dragon, growing increasingly frustrated, turns to Principal Wilson, demanding if he has just heard what transpired. He expresses outrage that Leon would openly teach his daughter to bully his children. He insists that for students with violent tendencies like this, mere apologies are insufficient, and expulsion is the only appropriate response. Principal Wilson, maintaining his composure, urges patience, explaining that the decision regarding Noah's expulsion lies with St. Heath's College. Furthermore, he points out that multiple students have reported Lal's behavior, stating that he frequently bullies the viviparous dragons. Additionally, witnesses from the cafeteria the previous night had confirmed that Lal had been the one who deliberately instigated the confrontation. The Red Flame Dragon, unable to contain his anger, exclaims in disbelief. He reiterates that his daughter had physically assaulted his son, yet the Academy not only refrains from punishing her, but instead accuses his son of provocation. As Leon interrupts in to argue if he have any shame, questioning why. Is he making a fuss when he was beaten, particularly since he had been overpowered by a 1-year and 2-month-old child? The Red Flame Dragon, refusing to let the point go, demands that he should not concern themselves with his son's age. Meanwhile, Leon shifts his gaze toward Lal, who, caught off guard, blurts out that he is 7 years and 10 months old. Suppressing a laugh, Leon mockingly states that if he were in such an embarrassing position, he would dig a hole 1,000 feet deep and bury himself, ensuring that this incident remained a secret for eternity. Flinching in both annoyance and humiliation, the Red Flame Dragon's frustration intensifies. He directs his anger toward Leon, labeling him a coward who does not even have the courage to reveal his tale. He questions what right Leon has to comment on his son. Growing more aggressive, he extends his hand, pointing his finger toward Leon's family, specifically at Roswa. Leon, reacting swiftly, grips the Red Flame Dragon's finger firmly, his gaze darkening. He warns that while he may tolerate insults directed at himself, the Red Flame Dragon must never point at his wife and children or speak ill of them. The Red Flame Dragon winces in pain, groaning. Observing the interaction, Rosweiss notes Leon's strong protective instinct toward his family. Meanwhile, the Red Flame Dragon, unable to contain his indignation, demands to know if Leon realizes whom he has just laid hands on. The Red Flame Dragon makes a ruckus, arguing that he is the Duke of the Red Flame Dragon clan and that his superior is none other than Constantine. Before the tension escalates further, the Red Flame Dragon's colleagues step in, attempting to de-escalate the situation. They urge him to remain composed, reminding him that the principal is watching. At that moment, Rosweiss intervenes, shifting the focus back to the matter at hand. She states that this conflict is merely a minor dispute between children and that dragging their family status into it will not be beneficial. Addressing the principal, she expresses confidence that St. Heath's College will issue a fair judgment, assuring that their family is willing to abide by whatever decision is made. Principal Wilson nods in acknowledgement, recognizing the wisdom in her words. He then turns to the Red Flame Dragon, questioning whether he truly intends to escalate matters within the school premises. He warns that if the Red Flame Dragon continues to stir trouble, there is a possibility that his child's student status may be revoked. Realizing the weight of the warning, the Red Flame Dragon reluctantly suppresses his anger, while Lal also pleads to his dad to forget this as he still wants to go school. Though still seething, he forces himself to apologize for losing his temper. However, as he clenches his teeth, it becomes evident that he harbors resentment. Determined to bide his time, he resolves to stay out of the spotlight for now, waiting for an opportune moment to act once they are beyond the school's jurisdiction. Principal Wilson then delivers the final verdict. He acknowledges that in Lal's case, the primary fault lies with him, as he had initiated the conflict. However, he also states that Noah's response was excessive, even if it had been in self-defense. He orders her to return to her classroom and receive verbal guidance from her class teacher. Additionally, she is instructed to reflect seriously on her actions. As a consequence, all 3 students, including Lal, are required to write self-reflections, which must be submitted to their respective class teachers for evaluation. Furthermore, they will be assigned class hygiene responsibilities for the following week. Afterwards, outside, Noah bids farewell, stating that she will return to the classroom. As she leaves, Leon waves at her. As he asks her if she ever faces such provocation again, she must ensure she targets the knees first. Unbeknownst to him, Principal Wilson had silently approached from behind, his presence sending a chill down Leon's spine as he calls for him. Turning around abruptly, Leon, flustered, nervously asks if the principal has any further inquiries, secretly hoping that his last statement had gone unheard. Principal Wilson, however, appears unfazed. He states that, despite the few times they have met, he has always been curious about one thing: Leon's tail has never been visible. He then poses a direct question, inquiring whether Leon's identity has been deliberately concealed. Choosing his words carefully, Principal Wilson admits that he is unable to determine which noble dragon lineage Leon belongs to. However, if it is convenient, he asks if Leon would be willing to disclose the truth. Before Leon can respond, Rosweiss intervenes once more. She asserts that her husband is not of noble dragon descent, but merely an ordinary member of the dragon clan. Maintaining a light-hearted demeanor, Leon chuckles, casually stating that he is merely merely a commoner. Principal Wilson, however, finds this combination intriguing. Laughing, he remarks that it is quite a miracle for such an extraordinary child to be born from an ordinary couple. In short, he expresses that St. Heath's College welcomes talented children like Noah as they contribute to the institution's growth and prestige. His expression turning more deliberate, he then subtly implies another suggestion. Leon and Roswitha, understanding his underlying message, exchange glances. It becomes clear that he is encouraging them to have more children, emphasizing that the more they produce, the better. Finally, Principal Wilson expresses confidence that, upon graduation, he will undoubtedly lead the Dragon Clan to great victories against the Dragon slaves. Leon, amused, dismisses the remark internally, offering his thanks in silence. Meanwhile, the Red Flame Dragon, having observed the entire exchange, scoffs. Turning to his colleague, he mutters that it is time for them to leave. At the college gate, as Roswitha and Leon were walking down the stairs while talking, Lord Duke Lear suddenly appeared, interrupting them by calling out for the Silver Dragon Queen to wait. Roswitha questioned whether he had something else to do, stating that the college had already given the outcome of the matter and asking if he had not just agreed to it. In response, Lord Duke Lear requested her not to be so nervous, explaining that it was merely a polite remark in the office and that he had said it only to give face to the college. Turning his attention to Leon, he declared that since they had left the academy, the matter had to be resolved according to the customs of their dragon clan. Without hesitation, he provoked Leon, stating that he was challenging her husband to a duel immediately. Upon hearing this, Roswitha considered the implications, realizing that if they refused here, the Silver Dragons would undoubtedly be slandered as weak and afraid of fighting. Lord Duke Lear, smirking, questioned whether Leon would refuse. Leaning toward Leon, Roswitha whispered, asking if he wanted to accept the challenge and whether he was feeling well. With great excitement, Leon smiled, stating that since Lord Duke Lear had approached him and asked for a fight, he had no choice but to accept. Roswitha permitted him to go ahead, but reminded him not to beat Lord Duke Lear to death, to which Leon affirmed. Meanwhile, inside the college, as students rushed outside, Noah overheard some children discussing the situation. They excitedly mentioned that they had heard the dragons were fighting at the gate and urged each other to go and watch. As Noah listened, she speculated whether her father could be involved. As the children moved toward the scene, they whispered among themselves, wondering who was fighting against whom. Observing Leon, Lord Duke Lear thought to himself that the man appeared so frail that he did not even dare to reveal his tale. Convinced that there was nothing to fear aside from his tough talk, he smirked, determined to avenge his son, who had lost a fight earlier that day. He was resolved to beat Leon to a pulp and help his son regain his confidence. Taunting Leon, Lord Duke Lear asserted that the Red Flame Dragon Clan never bullied others, and as long as Leon survived 3 rounds, he would lose. Leon, unimpressed, dismissed his words, clearing his ears as if discarding his opponent's nonsense. Without hesitation, he urged Lord Duke Lear to begin. Agitated by Leon's dismissive attitude, Lord Duke Lear accused him of underestimating the Red Dragon Clan before furiously dashing toward him, launching a blazing fist in his direction. However, Leon effortlessly deflected the attack, reaffirming his earlier suspicion that this opponent was far weaker than the dragons he had encountered on the battlefield. With a casual remark, Leon reminded Lord Duke Lear that only 2 rounds remained. Irritated, Lord Duke Lear retorted that Leon was simply good at hiding, before punching the ground in an attempt to create a distraction. Declaring that he was a coward, he quickly followed up with a breath attack, launching a fireball toward Leon. However, Leon confidently evaded the attack, swiftly appearing before Lord Duke Lear. Without giving him a chance to react, he announced that it was now his turn, delivering a powerful kick that threw Lord Duke Lear off balance and sent him down to the ground. As Lord Duke Lear attempted to counterattack, he barely had time to react before noticing Leon's fist heading straight for him. Before he could dodge, he was sent flying into a nearby building wall. Leon remarked that an opponent like Lord Duke Lear did not even warrant the use of magic, prompting agonized screams from the Red Dragon Clan members as they screamed to their fallen companion's aid. Turning to the remaining Red Dragon nobles, Leon inquired whether they wished to challenge him as well. Trembling, they hurriedly refused, instead choosing to tend to Lord Duke Lear. Wasting no time, Leon instructed them to take him away quickly and to warn his son son to stop bothering his daughter in the future. The nobles, frightened, affirmed his words before hastily retreating with Lord Duke Lear. With the matter settled, Leon turned to Roswise, suggesting that they should return. However, before he could proceed, he found himself face to face with Noah. She directed a questioning gaze at Leon, while Leon, surprised by her presence, asked when she had arrived. Casually, Noah responded that she had simply been passing by when she noticed a fight taking place. Without further explanation, she handed a small box to Roswise. Curious, Leon asked about its contents as Roswise opened it, revealing some homemade cookies. Noah explained that these were cookies she had learned to make in her cooking class, though they had only won second place. She speculated that the taste might not be very good, encouraging them to try them out. Eager to support her daughter, Roswise immediately reassured her, insisting that they could not possibly be anything less than delicious. She then handed a cookie to Leon, urging him to try it as well. Taking a bite, Leon expressed his certainty that cookies made by his daughter could not be anything but delicious. He encouraged her, confidently stating that she would surely win first place next time. Hearing this, Noah suddenly remarked that Leon had looked very handsome just moments ago. Her words caught Leon off guard, making his heart skip a beat. He was deeply touched, realizing that Noah had directly praised him, something that delighted him immensely. He felt that their relationship had grown closer at that moment. Flexing off his emotions, he laughed, playfully boasting about how awesome her father was. Placing a hand on her head, he told her that if she ever wanted to learn any fighting techniques, she only needed to ask him. However, as he continued to pat Noah, Rosvius was piercing her glare directed at him, making it evident that she had something to say. Inside the castle, Leon had been quietly reading a book when a sudden knock at the door startled him. He flinched slightly and looked up just in time to see Roswise entering the room with a first aid box in hand. Curious, Leon asked why she had come. Roswise didn't respond and simply sat beside him. Leon became uneasy, wondering why she had chosen to sit so close and if she had something new planned. Without any warning, Roswise asked for his hand. Leon looked confused and questioned what she meant. Roswise asked if his hand wasn't injured. Reluctantly, Leon raised his hand and pointed out the slight wound, saying she must be talking about that one. He brushed it off, saying it was a minor injury and would heal in 2 days. Roswise didn't seem convinced. She told him to stop downplaying it and asked him to just give her his hand honestly. She gently took his hand in hers, and Leon let out a small groan from the pain. Roswise carefully started applying it to the wound, reminding him not to move and assuring him that it would be over soon. Leon began reflecting on how, as a veteran dragon slayer, his body carried many scars and wounds. This was the first time someone had cared enough to tend to his injuries with such tenderness. As he looked at Roswise, he noticed how soft and warm her palms felt, and how the tips of her fingers were slightly cool wherever she touched him. Quickly, Leon turned his face away, unsure of why he was even thinking about these things. Roswise then softly thanked him for what he had done that day. Leon was puzzled and asked what she was thanking him for. Roswise explained that earlier, when Lal's father had been acting aggressively, Leon had stood up and defended Noah without hesitation. Leon simply said that he had done what was necessary. He would have done it even if they weren't close to each other. In the eyes of others, she was still his wife, and he felt a duty to protect her. He awkwardly added that it was all for Noah. Roswise let out a short sigh and said that she had expected him to be stubborn about it. She went on to say that her sister had written a letter inviting their whole family to come visit. She asked if he would like to go and see her. Leon hesitated and questioned where her sister lived, not sounding interested in the idea. But Roswise reminded him that they still hadn't resolved the matters. This made Leon nervous, and he quickly agreed, asking why they shouldn't just go. Later on, Roswise in her dragon form flew across the Red Dragon clan's domain, eventually landing where her family lived. Leon got down with Muin and Noah. He nudged Muin awake just as Isha came running over. She hugged Roswise, smiling as she commented on how impressive her dragon form still looked. After Roswise transformed back, Isha clung to her and complimented how good she looked, even after returning to her human form. Roswise chuckled and said that the transformation was still a bit itchy. She then said it was time for formal introductions, since Isha hadn't properly met her family yet. Pointing to Leon, she introduced him as Leon Kusmodi. Roswise introduced him as her husband. Isha greeted him warmly and said she was glad to finally see him awake. Roswise then introduced her daughters, Muin and Noah. Isha looked at the children, guessing that the one standing in front was Moon and the one behind was Noah. Moon confirmed her guess, saying her aunt had gotten it right. Isha said Roswais had described them exactly that way in her letter. She bent down to Noah, asking if she wanted a hug too. After a short moment of hesitation, Noah nodded. Isha then gathered both girls in her arms, saying how lucky she felt to hug two little dragon girls at the same time. Turning to Leon, Isha mentioned that Roswais had told her how carefully he looked after the children. She thanked him for all the effort, calling him brother-in-law. Leon smiled and said it was nothing. He enjoyed being with the children and they were close to him. Roswais playfully added that he was definitely closer to her. Leon looked at her and jokingly called her honey, saying she shouldn't tease like that. He pretended to act shocked, asking how she could even say something like that. They started exchanging playful remarks and Leon threatened to kiss her if she didn't stop teasing him. Roswais asked if he was being serious. Isha laughed and commented that the two of them seemed to have a great relationship. Both Roswais and Leon turned their faces away, clearly a bit embarrassed but not denying it. Isha then suggested that they must be tired after traveling such a long way and invited everyone inside to rest. After some dinner, they all gathered in the hall. Isha brought out an old photo album and asked if anyone wanted to see pictures of their mother from her childhood. Moon jumped up excitedly and claimed the seat beside her aunt. Seeing this, Roswais flinched. She quickly got up and ran to Isha, questioning why she still kept those old photos. Roswais tried to grab the album away, insisting that it should be handed over. Isha teased that Roswais must be shy about them. She made eye contact with Leon and with a smirk tossed the album to him. Leon caught it easily as Roswais stood there embarrassed. He grinned, thinking there was nothing more amusing than seeing someone's childhood photos. He told himself he had to take a look at her past, even if just for fun. As he opened the album, a bright smile spread across his face as he looked at the first picture, choking him out. As Leon remarked to Roswais that he hadn't expected her to have this side to her, Roswais, startled by the comment, glanced over at him, unsure of what he meant. Moen, however, seemed quite excited, insisting that they should watch whatever it was he was talking about. Without much of a warning, Leon revealed a photo of Roswais in her school uniform. He pointed out how lovely she looked while reading. Isha, ever the helpful sister, explained that the photo had been taken during a speech Roswais had given back then, as the outstanding student representative at her school. Leon chuckled at the image, shaking his head in disbelief, and jokingly asked how someone who had once looked so sweet and warm had turned into someone so cold. Roswais pressed her foot down on his in a not-so-subtle attempt to make him cry out, which he barely managed to suppress. Leaning in closer, Roswais whispered that he shouldn't act so surprised. He might be the next one she chose to tease, scaring of Leon. Meanwhile, Isha told Noah and Moon that there were still many more childhood photos of Roswais left to go through. She then called out to Moen and Noah, inviting them to look at the photos of their mother when she was just a child. As the two kids turned the page together, Noah pointed out how Roswais had looked so soft and fair when she was younger. Moen eagerly chimed in, saying she wanted to touch her mother, captivated by how small and adorable she looked in the pictures. Moen suddenly declared that the mother in that photo was beautiful, causing Leon to lean in quickly, asking to let him see the photo too. Isha smiled as she explained that it had been taken on the day Roswais had inherited the title of the Silver Dragon Queen. Leon chuckled and teased Roswais, saying she looked quite handsome in the image, while Noah pointed to the final page of the album, noting that they had reached the end. But Moen, still interested, expressed disappointment that there were no more photos left and said she wished there were more to see. Before anyone could close the album, Roswais reached for it, saying that since they had finished looking, it would be best to put it away and keep it stored safely. However, Isha stopped her and pulled out one last item, a crystal-like object. Holding it up, she asked Roswais if she remembered what it was. Roswais' expression shifted immediately to one of worry, her voice rising as she called out to her sister, asking her not to show it. Leon, however, had already straightened up with interest. He recognized the object right away, calling it a photo stone. Isha nodded and said it could reveal a moving image, which caught the kids' attention. Moon and Noah immediately perked up, their eyes gleaming with curiosity. They both excitedly insisted that they wanted to see the video. Roswais, clearly panicked, turned to Isha with pleading eyes. She begged her sister not to show it, calling in the favor of being her biological sibling. But Leon wasn't backing down either. He joined the plea, calling upon his status as her brother-in-law and insisting they deserved to see it, while he inwardly thought that Roswais must be highly hiding something shameful inside that video. Isha, amused by both their reactions, decided to settle the situation with a compromise. Since it was Leon's first visit to their home, she reasoned that they should listen to him this time. Next time, they would listen to Ross Weiss. That verdict delighted Leon, who chuckled at Ross Weiss's growing frustration. She gritted her teeth and swore to herself that this would be the last time she ever brought him here. As Isha activated the photo stone, a bright image began to play. Ross Weiss's eyes widened in horror. She scrambled to cover Leon's eyes, insisting he wasn't allowed to look. Leon, taken aback, asked what it was all about. The video played out with a younger version of Isha asking Ross Weiss what criteria she would use to choose a spouse in the future. Clearly flustered by being on camera, Ross Weiss told her sister to stop filming because it felt too strange. But Isha kept insisting, telling her not to be shy. Eventually, Ross Weiss gave in. She explained that first and foremost, her future husband must have better grades than her. Ideally, he would have won many first-place awards. He must be responsible and, importantly, not hate children. Myun looked up and pointed out that it sounded just like their father, to which Noah nodded in agreement. The video continued. Ross Weiss elaborated further. Her ideal partner must be strong but should never bully the weak. He needed to have a solid moral compass and resist being influenced by his peers or society's expectations. Leon couldn't help but chime in, claiming that he fit that description perfectly. Ross Weiss turned to him with a glare, asking if he had no shame. The younger Ross Weiss went on to say that all those traits were difficult to find, especially the last one. She mentioned how many people changed after gaining power or success and lost themselves in the process. Ross Weiss, thoughtful for a moment, said that even if such a person didn't exist, she didn't want to force herself into marriage. If she were ever to marry, she would only marry someone like that. Leon seemed a little taken aback. Watching the younger Ross Weiss speak so earnestly, he realized he matched the image she had once painted in her mind. Ross Weiss, now fully red in the face, insisted that it had just been something she said as a child. Leon chuckled, saying he understood and that she didn't need to be embarrassed. Isha, still curious, asked who had pursued whom first. Without missing a beat, both Ross Weiss and Leon pointed fingers at each other and said she did and he did in perfect unison. Ross Weiss, with a glare, asked him to say it again. Leon admitted he hadn't realized what he had at first, ignored her, and then came crawling back when he wised up. Ross Weiss smiled and agreed. That was basically how it went. Isha laughed and commented that she was happy the two of them had such a strong relationship. Then she mischievously pulled out another item and asked if they wanted to read some of the love letters Ross Weiss had received back in the day. Leon, Myun, and Noah all answered enthusiastically in the affirmative. Ross Weiss, however, let out a dramatic cry, questioning why those were even kept, and insisted that she would burn them the moment she got the chance. Later, as Leon and Ross Weiss entered the guest room, Leon remarked that there didn't seem to be any other option. They would have to share the room. He stated that he doesn't want to do that. As they stepped in, their eyes widened in disbelief. The room had been prepared with incredible attention to romantic detail. A luxurious water tub filled with rose petals sat on one side, and the bed was decorated with roses shaped into a heart. The atmosphere screamed romance. Both of them stared, speechless, before slowly turning to each other, wondering just what in the world was going on. As Ross Weiss got quite surprised by seeing the room, she asked Isha what was going on with the room, while Leon slapped himself in disbelief. Isha winked at Ross Weiss, saying she had specifically prepared a guest room for them and mentioned they would stay there for the next 2 days. Ross Weiss, clearly embarrassed, asked if there were any other rooms, but Isha hushed her, asking why couples acted so shy. Leon, watching everything unfold, thought he was terrified, since the dragoness's sister clearly could not be underestimated. Her intent seemed to be to lock up the two extinct species, let them go into heat, breed offspring, and complete the task of revitalizing the species. As Leon turned his face, wishing to escape from the fear bubbling inside him, Isha grabbed his shoulder with a firm grip, her sharp glare landing directly on him, and asked where he was planning to go. He tried to laugh it off, mentioning how his daughters might be missing him, so he would go check on them for a moment, but Isha casually waved it off, assuring him there was no reason to worry about the children. She had made preparations in advance, giving them another room where they should be having a great time by now. Just before leaving, she threw another wink toward Rosweiss, reminding her they both should stay here and enjoy a proper rest. Once she left, both Rosweiss and Leon let out a deep sigh of relief, their shoulders loosening a little. Rosweiss commented how it looked like they had no choice but to sleep in that room for the night. Leon replied with a groan, saying he hadn't expected her sister to be so devious. Rosweiss admitted her sister had always been like that, and if he stayed around longer, he would understand it for himself. When Rosweiss curiously opened the wardrobe, her eyes widened in shock as she saw erotic outfits decorated with shiny details. She quickly shut the wardrobe, face flushed, and stammered that this room only contained a bed and a bathtub, so Leon had to sleep in the bathtub. Leon stood still, expression blank, and asked why he should sleep in the bathtub. He added he had already checked and noticed the outlet had been deliberately blocked. He figured her sister was absolutely determined they both sleep in the same bed. The tub had been filled with steaming hot water, seemingly to stop anyone from attempting to rest inside it. As he climbed onto the bed, he mentioned how the mattress felt a bit different compared to a regular one. Curious, he wondered if it might be a waterbed. He bounced on it joyfully, commenting on its softness, clearly enjoying the sensation, and added how elastic it felt, while Rosweiss, still embarrassed, looked at him and teased him quietly. Leon, refusing to miss the opportunity, declared he wouldn't let her enjoy such a comfortable bed all by herself. Rosweiss turned her face away and muttered they should sleep together. Leon, taken aback, hesitated for a moment and questioned her sudden change in behavior. He asked whether she had something wicked in mind. Rosweiss, holding back a burst of frustration, raised her voice and asked if he would sleep or not. Rosweiss, narrowing her eyes while holding a whip in her hand, warned him that maybe they could try out all the toys hidden inside the closet. At that moment, Leon's face turned pale, and he strongly refused, clearly frightened. Rosweiss rolled her eyes and said she would take a bath, warning him not to peek. Leon asked who would even try to peek. Not buying a single word, Rosweiss kicked him out of the room, saying she didn't trust him one bit. She told him to wait outside for a while and return later. As Leon stepped out, he whistled softly, muttering how it wasn't like he hadn't seen it before, and joked he was simply tired of it now. Not long after, he found Isha sitting nearby sipping wine. Isha, spotting him, asked why he had come out and why he looked annoyed. Leon explained Rosweiss was taking a bath and he stepped out to get some fresh air. Isha offered him a drink, asking if he would join her. Leon nodded. She handed him a glass, saying it was the wine Rosweiss always preferred. He thanked her and took a sip. Isha leaned back slightly and shared that she and Rosweiss used to drink here sometimes and chat for hours. Leon remarked that they must have shared a close relationship. Isha nodded, adding she had watched Rosweiss grow up and had spent the first 50 years of her life by her side. When Rosweiss left to become the Silver Dragon Queen, their conversations turned into letters. It was through those letters they kept track of each other's lives and safety. About a year ago, Rosweiss wrote and told her she had married the low-key Dragon King and was pregnant. Ishan mentioned that even though her sister was married, her words had lacked joy. It was clear from her tone she had been suffering. In one of the letters, she mentioned how the Dragon King was often unwell, spending long periods asleep, unable to remain at her side. Although a maid helped with daily needs, raising twins made everything twice as difficult, both during the pregnancy and after birth. Leon quietly groaned in his thoughts, imagining how Rosweiss had been forced to bear the child of someone she has as a mortal enemy. She had no choice but to go through everything alone, with only the comfort of letters written to her sister. Those days must have felt unbearably long and full of sorrow. Isha suddenly patted Leon's back hard and said she had once believed Rosweiss had ended up with a lazy and useless dragon. Leon paused and asked if he really looked like that kind of dragon. Isha observed him for a moment and answered that he didn't seem like trash, at least not from what she had seen tonight. Maybe there was more to him than she had expected. Her impression of him made her even more sure that Rosweiss genuinely liked him. Leon, eyes wide, stood there in silence as he wondered if Rosweiss truly had such deep feelings for him. As Leon slowly processed the possibility that Rosweiss might actually like him, he immediately shrugged it off. He convinced himself it was impossible. How could that vicious mother dragon have feelings for him? As Isha questioned him, asking what he meant and whether he was truly sorry, Leon thought silently to himself that she didn't know her sister at all. He sighed, thinking that despite how things really were, they still had to keep pretending to be in love in front of her. Playing along, he declared to Isha once more that she was right, they were in love. Isha gently patted his shoulder, stating that she had known from the beginning that they would get along eventually. She added that Roswise wasn't very good at expressing her feelings, not even to her. Leon was the first dragon Roswise had ever treated like this. Then, with a more serious tone, she warned him. Issa said that since he was a responsible man, she wouldn't need to tell him what to do in the future. He should already know. That warning made Leon nervous. He grew tense, thinking that if he said he didn't know, she would probably kill him right there on the spot. Trying to mask his fear, he forced a confident smile and assured her that she could leave Roswise to him. He added that he had failed to take care of her when she had her first child, but if there ever was a second one, he would protect her, his wife, and their children to the death. Isha narrowed her eyes and sized him up, then let out a sigh and said that he had better be serious about it. She gave him a push, telling him to stop showing off, to go back quickly, and not to keep Roswise waiting. As Leon turned to leave, he received a call from Isha. He answered, asking if there was anything else. On the other end, with a mischievous smirk in her voice, she told him not to feel restrained tonight, mentioning that the soundproofing in the room was actually very good. Leon froze at her words, his mind blank for a moment as he processed what she meant. When it finally hit him, his face turned red with embarrassment, and he shouted a quick thank you before rushing off. As Leon sneaked into the room and found Roswise asleep, he walked closer to her, believing she had already fallen into a deep sleep. A small smile appeared on his face as he thought, at least tonight he wouldn't have to deal with her suffering. Even though they were supposed to be enemies, he had to admit she looked genuinely beautiful when she was sleeping. But then something strange caught his attention. He frowned, wondering what he was sensing. His eyes widened when he saw a soft glow coming from her chest. His heart started pounding. He questioned, could it be that the dragon pattern had activated? But then he shook his head, realizing that the dragon pattern on his own body wasn't resonating. Something didn't add up. Confused, he leaned in closer to take a better look. Suddenly, Roswise greeted him casually. Leon jumped in shock, then quickly got angry, yelling at her. He demanded to know why she had hidden a light bulb under the quilt and scared him half to death. Roswise, amused, replied that she had found the item among some small toys on the hanger and thought it was interesting, so she brought it in to amuse him. She smirked, teasing that judging from his over-the-top reaction, he didn't seem to think it was a pity. Leon grumbled and brushed it off. He got into bed and pulled the blanket over himself, saying he was going to sleep and didn't want to talk to her. Roswise chuckled and told him not to regret it later, especially if he ended up attacking her in the middle of the night. Just then, as Roswise accidentally knocked against the bedside table, a spider dropped down from the ceiling and started swinging in front of her. She immediately froze, horrified, and let out a loud scream. Startled by the sound, Leon sat up and asked what had happened. But before he could finish speaking, Roswise dashed toward him, hugging him tightly and crouching down in fear. She trembled, muttering that there was a spider. Leon thought back to earlier that day when he had flipped through her old photo album and remembered a childhood picture of Roswise crying because of a spider. He wondered if this fear was a leftover trauma from her past. Leon laughed confidently, saying it seemed even the mighty Silver Dragon Queen was scared of something. Leon let out a sigh and walked over to where the spider was, saying there really was nothing he could do with her like this. He offered to catch it for her. Roswise, still hiding behind him, urged him to hurry up. As he reached for the spider, he suddenly felt something strange. Holding it in his hand, he paused. A thought crossed his mind. Could it be that Leon tried to pass the toy spider to Roswise, explaining that it was just a harmless toy and there was absolutely nothing to be afraid of. However, the moment Roswise laid eyes on the spider, up close, a scream of terror escaped her lips. Without hesitation, she surrounded herself with a defensive aura, firmly declaring that whether it was real or fake, it needed to be destroyed. Seeing her reaction, Leon quickly took the spider back and tried to calm her, assuring her that he would throw it outside. True to his word, he tossed the spider out, then turned back with a smile, announcing that the spider had been taken care of and that it was finally time to sleep. Roswais, still visibly shaken and utterly embarrassed by her reaction, struggled to make eye contact. Leon, on the other hand, suspected that this was another clever design orchestrated by her sister to reveal Rosweis's fearful and vulnerable side. It appeared to have worked perfectly. As Rosweis stood silently, trying to regain composure, she quietly stated that she would sleep on the inside of the bed and suggested that he sleep on the outside, asking if that would be all right. Leon replied warmly, telling her there was no problem and that she could sleep wherever she wanted. With that, they laid down beside each other. After a moment of silence, Leon turned slightly and in a calm tone asked whether she was still scared. He gently suggested that if she was, she could hold his hand while sleeping. Rosweisa, clearly caught off guard, scoffed in response, muttering that if he was offering, then she would go along with it. Without looking at him, she reached out and lightly held onto his pinky finger. Leon, puzzled by the gesture, questioned how he was supposed to feel safe holding just one little finger. Rosweis, visibly flustered, asked how else was he supposed to hold it then. As Leon tried to take her whole hand, she corrected him, calling him an idiot, and showed him how to hold it properly. Eventually, they interlocked their fingers, holding each other's hands tightly. Rosweis turned her face to the side, feeling heat rise to her cheeks. Her thoughts spiraled as she wondered how someone could hold her hand so casually. Was she the only one who felt awkward in this moment? She tried to calm her mind, reminding herself that she was the Silver Dragon Queen and must take responsibility for her actions. It was just hand-holding after all. There was nothing to be embarrassed about. Leon broke the silence again, curiously asking why her hands were always so cold. Rosweis replied that she was simply born with a cold body. He then asked if she was nervous, questioning why her palms were so sweaty. Rosweis, now completely red in the face, argued that it was his hands that were sweaty. Meanwhile, her thoughts drifted elsewhere. She had noticed the calluses and tiny scars on Leon's hands, marks left behind from years of holding a sword. Though rough, his hands radiated warmth. Where their interlocked fingers touched, it felt as though electricity was flowing through her skin. The sensation left her heart pounding uncontrollably. Leon suddenly brought up her earlier comment about mate selection criteria, asking what she truly meant by it. Rosweis brushed it off, explaining that it had just been a joke from over 100 years ago and not to take it seriously. When he asked what her current standards were, she stated flatly that she had none. With the conversation tapering off, they both tried to fall asleep, though neither one succeeded. Leon lay in silence, screaming internally, unable to fall asleep. He opened one eye slightly, trying to see whether Rosweisa had already dozed off. As his thoughts raced, he repeatedly shifted his pinky ever so slightly, wondering if it would be all right to move his hand a little more. Slowly, he began to move his fingers. Rosweis, still wide awake, felt the movement and thought to herself that this guy was absolutely doing it on purpose. She peeked toward him, silently questioning how a captive dared to touch his master like that. Determined not to lose, she decided she would touch back. And she did, rather firmly. Leon, surprised, asked what was going on and why her hand kept touching him. Their bodies ended up pushing closer beside each other, his hand brushing along her thighs and shoulders. In that brief contact, Leon felt the softness of her skin. It was warm and delicate. A strange sensation swept over him. There was something almost wild about the feeling. A hunger, foreign yet familiar, began to grow inside him. Both of them swallowed hard as they realized how close they had gotten. Their hearts raced, and when they met each other's eyes, they understood. There was a shared desire. Neither one spoke it, but both of them felt it. A silent nod was exchanged. Without saying a word, Leon pulled the blanket over them and leaned in closer. Carefully, he positioned himself above her, their breaths mingling as the space between them disappeared. He whispered softly that just for tonight, they would do it. Rosweis called out for Leon with an alluring smile, dressed in her well-mannered clothes. Leon became utterly mesmerized by her beauty, believing they all understood what would follow next. But oddly, the dragon mark showed no reaction, and they moved closer to each other. The dragon mark, a type of magic designed to identify mutual appreciation and pure desire between two people, remained inactive. He moved close enough to kiss her, leaning in with hesitation, but just then, his hand hit a pillow. A spider showed out beside them, causing Rosweis to scream in pain. Leon quickly throated out and assured her not to be scared, warning her not to release the dragon flame in in panic. From the roof, Isha chimed in, asking if it was time they discovered the surprise she had prepared. Leon pulled Ross Weiss into his arms gently, telling her not to be afraid, promising everything was under control. He checked both inside and outside the room, confirming there were no other hidden tricks. The 2 spiders that appeared had also bled out. Wrapping his arms around Ross Weiss again, he held her sweetly. Ross Weiss mentioned his heart was racing, to which Leon admitted he was afraid of spiders too. Ross Weiss muttered she wouldn't do something like this again and requested he never bring it up after tonight. Leon gave her his word. The next morning, Ross Weiss stirred awake and wondered when she had fallen asleep. Turning toward the space beside her, she checked if he had woken up already. She figured it was probably better this way. After everything from last night, she wasn't sure how to face him. It marked the first time she broke her own rules, exposing vulnerability in front of a human and falling asleep in his arms. As she blushed while getting dressed, she silently vowed never to tell anyone about it. The mere thought embarrassed her. Just then, Isha's voice came from outside the door. She asked if Ross Weiss was awake, questioning how her night had gone and if she had been excited. Ross Weiss shot back a warning glare, telling her not to pull a stunt like that again. Isha raised an eyebrow, teasing her by asking whether she had used the toys she had prepared. Ross Weiss instantly denied it, brushing the thought away. Isha sighed and said it was a pity. Then she added she will pack some toys for her to take home. She should practice with them. She added to question when are they planning to have another child, as she is really looking forward to her inheriting the Red Dragon Castle. Ross Weiss grabbed Issa's arm, half embarrassed and half irritated. She told her not to worry about that and suggested they head to the dining hall at Red Dragon Castle for breakfast instead. Meanwhile, Leon sat at the table with Nguyen. Nguyen announced that their mother and aunt had arrived. It was time to eat. Around the breakfast table, the air between Leon and Ross Weiss grew awkward and heavy. Leon, seated across from her, kept recalling last night. He found it deeply embarrassing. He had almost kissed her and even fell asleep while holding her, all due to the moment's atmosphere. Despite everything, he couldn't stop feeling unworthy, trapped in chaos and doubt. A part of him, the pure side, reminded him he was falling into the arms of an enemy. It felt like betrayal, but the devilish voice in his mind countered, arguing they were already husband and wife. They had already crossed a line, so what did it matter anymore? In the middle of this internal struggle, the regular Leon thought the bread tasted bland, and maybe some peanut butter would help. As he reached across the table for it, his hand brushed against Ross Weiss's, triggering a sudden memory. As their hands brushed together on the dining table, both Leon and Ross Weiss quickly pulled away in awkward silence. They averted their eyes, muttering they could manage breakfast on their own. The moment lingered in the air, full of unspoken tension. Isha, ever observant and sharp with her tongue, raised an eyebrow and asked if the dining hall felt unusually warm. Why were both of them blushing? Ross Weiss scoffed, agreeing it was quite hot, while Leon nodded along, adding a stiff, "That's right." Isha leaned closer, mischief in her eyes. She asked whether they wanted to return to their room for a shower. In sync, Ross Weiss and Leon raised their voices in protest, denying any such need. Isha chuckled and leaned back, stating no matter how many times she teased them, their reactions never failed to amuse her. Turning her attention elsewhere, Isha called out to Lil Ross, asking if she had some friction with the Duke of the Red Flame Dragon Clan a few days ago. Ross Weiss answered instead, explaining his son had led a group to bully Noi, but ended up getting beaten. When the Duke tried to stir up more trouble, Leon stepped in and knocked him down. Leon let out a hearty laugh, remembering how that person had collapsed from just a single punch. Isha smiled and patted Noah's head, stating how amazing their little Noah had become. However, Isha's tone grew serious as she mentioned the Duke's return. After his humiliation, he had stormed back to find their leader Constantine and stirred up a fuss over the matter. Ross Weiss muttered what a pathetic man he was, while Leon reflected silently. He recalled how, in Dragon Clan history, that same Duke had once been recognized as a heroic figure who helped expand their territory. Isha pointed out his recent activity, always seeking chances to extend his domain. She warned they might use this incident as an excuse to cause more trouble. Ross Weiss shrugged off the threat with confidence. If that Duke dared to attack her Silver Dragon Castle over a petty grudge, she wouldn't mind letting the Red Flame Dragon Clan trim a little harder. Soon the scene shifted to the front gate of Red Dragon Castle. Isha embraced Roswisa warmly, bidding her farewell and wishing her a safe journey. Roswisa assured her they would come back to visit soon. Isha handed Roswisa a parting gift, urging her to open it once she reached home. Roswisa expressed her gratitude as Isha hugged her nieces fondly and gave the children a kiss on the forehead. She told them to eat more meat, grow up fast, and come play with her again. Muen nodded, promising she would eat well. Isha then turned to Leon, offering her hand. She reminded him of the promise he made. Leon shook her hand and gave his word he wouldn't forget. With that, Roswise transformed into her dragon form, wings spreading as they prepared for departure. They bid farewell, rising into the sky. Isha stood at the entrance, waving until they vanished from sight. As she returned inside, she thought to herself how interesting the young dragons were. She wondered playfully when they might have another baby. Upon opening the door, a spider dropped from above and landed right in front of her. Isha narrowed her eyes and chuckled, thinking the boy must be eager to protect his wife. Somewhere in the sky, Leon sneezed. He guessed Isha had found the surprise he left behind. Roswise and her sister truly felt different from the usual dragon kids he had encountered. Spending time with them revealed they were not just powerful, but also deeply caring. They loved their family in a warm, genuine way. Isha had trusted him enough to leave her precious sister in his care. Roswise turned toward him mid-slide and narrowed her eyes. She asked what promise he had made to her sister just before leaving. Leon gave a sly grin and said that if she really wanted to know, then too bad. He refused to tell her. Roswise scowled, puffing her cheeks in irritation. After returning to the castle, Roswise watched their children as they settled down for a nap. She stepped outside quietly, only to find Leon already waiting for her. He called her name with a grin, claiming it was time she gave him a live performance of what he had seen in yesterday's video. Apparently, Leon had prepared a revenge plan. His goal was to mentally torment her using her dark past so she wouldn't be able to sleep peacefully. He began mimicking her exaggeratedly, singing, pretending to bathe, twirling an imaginary tail and blowing bubbles. Roswise's expression twisted into pure rage. Back at Red Dragon Castle, Isha had shared videos of Roswise's childhood with the children. In one of them, Roswise had been singing in the bath, humming cheerfully that she loved taking a bath to make herself feel good. Leon laughed so hard he had to hold his stomach, claiming her singing had the charm of a lullaby. Roswise's eyes flared with fury. She vowed to destroy the video, swearing it must be wiped from existence. But Isha had already taken precautions. She restrained Roswise and insisted that Anna wouldn't be allowed. She claimed it had become a cherished family heirloom. No matter how much Roswise protested, the video remained untouched. In the end, it survived the chaos and stayed preserved, tucked away for future embarrassment. Roswise was shivering from anger while Leon taunting, remarking it sounded so stupid. Roswise asked if he seemed bored as she grabbed Leon, calling out for him. Her anger appeared very intense, and the consequences of it seemed dangerous. Laughing quite devilishly, Roswise questioned whether they should continue what they had not done the previous night, which made Leon sweat, realizing she was furious. He ran out, stating it was better to escape from her, for which Roswise screamed at him to stop. Leon tried slamming the door shut, but Roswise stopped it, laughing as she mentioned giving him 10 minutes to take a shower and come to her room, since teacher Roswise would be teaching him a lesson that night. She then questioned what might happen if he dared provoke her with her dark past. While banging on the door, Leon slapped his own mouth, cursing himself for it, and stated he hadn't expected her reaction to be that strong. However, it only proved the dark history worked effectively on her. Although breaking her defenses cost him through physical torment, he believed it was a necessary sacrifice for the mission of slaying the dragon. Crying out, he thought it would be fine if his body gave out as long as it succeeded in making the Silver Dragon Queen feel discomfort. He believed it was his duty. While Roswise sang in the bath, Leon screamed at her to wait for him. 10 minutes later, he entered her room. Suddenly, while lying on the bed, Leon asked Roswise not to be so cruel, for which Roswise responded by telling him to call her teacher Rosewise. Addressing her accordingly, Leon remarked she was good at acting and called her a female dragon. Rosewise screamed and scolded him for being presumptuous, slashing him with a whip. She stated he had gotten her name wrong again. It appeared he still hadn't grasped his current situation, as she addressed him as Student Leon. Leon thought the whip didn't hurt much when hitting his body, but it felt awkward. He suddenly understood that the female dragon seemed to want to stimulate him using this kind of role-playing game. She was playing the teacher, and he was the disobedient student who had made mistakes. If he wanted to finish the night's game quickly, full cooperation with Rosewise was necessary. Rosewise then asked if he knew what he had done wrong. Blushing, Leon affirmed his apology, promising to study harder, listen attentively, and not repeat his mistakes. Rosewise then asked if he was ready to submit his homework, prompting Leon to inquire about it. Rosewise expressed disbelief that he didn't even know what homework he was supposed to do, yet dared to claim he wanted to study hard. Leon then requested her to say it again, promising to listen carefully. Rosewise confirmed she would explain it again. After all, she claimed to be a reasonable teacher. That night's homework, she declared, was to make her dragon mark glow as she laid upon Leon. She added that failure to complete it would bring more severe punishment. In response, Leon argued about who had claimed he couldn't do it, while grabbing Rosewise by the waist. His face turned red as he thought they had spent countless nights together, and he already knew exactly where her sensitive spots were. Rosewise groaned, blushing, and asked if he had already figured it out so quickly, while her groans continued and Leon kept going. Inside the melons, Leon informed them that he had finished his homework, questioning if it was okay, to which Rosewise noted it was only some pre-classic exercise and his real homework had not been handed out yet. Leon awkwardly questioned if it was really okay. Inwardly, he knew the female dragon would never let him go easily. As the great dragon slayer hero, Leon had been defeated by the female dragon once again. He wondered why the dragon mark glowed so brightly. He questioned if it was because of this glow, as his mouth became increasingly dry and his body started growing restless and unbearable. Without much control, he bit Roseweis's neck. Rosewise was startled and called him a bad boy. Leon immediately addressed her as teacher and questioned what she wanted from him. Rosewise groaned in agreement and told him to hurry up as they began to warm their bed. After a while, Leon sat aside and sighed that it was finally over. He took his robe and said his homework had been handed in, questioning if he could leave the class now. However, Rosewise grabbed him firmly and said the homework he had handed in was only for one subject and there were still 6 more subjects to come. This left Leon petrified on the spot, and he screamed, calling her a homework maniac. Rosewise, with excitement, told him to stop talking nonsense and to cheer up. A man should always be prepared to do homework all night long, because this night was destined to be long and tiring. The next day, Rosewise looked quite refreshed, while Leon appeared completely drained, with dark circles under his eyes, weakness visible in his movements, and unsteady steps. Noah asked her father if he looked like he had not slept all night, while Muen pointed out that her daddy had dark circles under his eyes. Leon explained he had finished his homework late into the night. Muen questioned if adults had to do homework as well. Rosewise interrupted and clarified that children had their homework, and adults of course had their own kind, leaving the children confused about what this meant. Muen then said she had discovered a super powerful pattern. When mommy was in good condition, daddy became very weak, and when daddy was in good condition, mommy became very weak. She asked if this was right. Rosewise gasped in surprise, and Leon praised his dear daughter for becoming so smart. He thought it was easy to see through a truth ordinary people could not understand. Proudly, he said if anyone ever said she could only act well, he would be the first to fight them. Noah glanced at the sky and said, "Here it comes," bidding farewell to her mom. Rosewise asking her to be careful, while Muen called her sister back to play because she would miss her when she was not around. Leon bid Noah farewell and wished her good luck, saying he would see her at school and next weekend. Noah bade her farewell as if to leave. Leon then asked Muen what they should do after sending her sister to the academy. Muen thought her daddy was always weak, and mommy seemed worried. Since her sister was not around, she decided to urge her daddy to exercise and become stronger. Muen pushed her dad, convincing him they should go to the training ground for a run. Leon agreed, while Rosewise thought it looked very interesting and decided she should go and take a look as well.